What's up, guys? How is everybody doing? So, how are you doing, Michelle?
Doing okay.
Welcome to the stream.
I hope we have sound.
We're streaming live.
Oh no, Dutch.
April 24th.
You can't hear us. Echo.
Echo.
There's an echo.
No, everything's good.
Oh, yes it is. It is indeed.
I am fresh off the Win signature event this weekend. 3 starting flights, and I made it through day 2 on the first bullet. Got through in the money, down to 4 tables, and blow yourself up. Push this button to blow yourself up. I pushed it. 32nd place. My good friend and long-time rival at the poker tables, Ken and James, ended up taking it down. Heads up with Jared Jaffe. They chopped it up for about $55,000 each. So good job, boys.
Good job.
Very nice job. I wish it was me. So here we are in the Spring Poker Series event number 2. We're not playing the 2K and 3K normal schedule today. Today we have this $50 freeze out. It's a $7,500 guaranteed. And we just bought in.
Freeze out?
Yep. Not a bad flop for Ace 9. So top pair, top kicker. I don't mind inflating the pot here a little bit. ULGG making the raise pre-flop. Kind of scary, kind of. Not really. What are we really afraid of here? Tens, jacks, queens, kings, aces. I'm not afraid of 5 hands. There's a lot more hands that we're just crushing here. So let's. Uh-oh. I think I have my. There we go. I think we're going to go ahead and charge him here to see another card. I guess if this tournament goes south right quick, then we'll just jump into the 2K.
Oh, the color's
going
weird.
Going for a check raise. Look at that.
Right.
Check raising. Yeah, we're not going to be afraid of the overpair. Even if he has an overpair, we've got some outs. I think there's a lot of hands here where we're just crushing him. So, yeah, we'll close our eyes. Hope that he doesn't have the queens. He's got the jacks. GG. I guess we still have 80. So we're not completely out of it, but I'm going to load up this 2K because that didn't go well. What's up? I'm the Rake and the Vet. Good to see you, man. We got Hardy 1. Always a pleasure. I don't even want to look. How'd your weekend go, Michelle?
Good.
Anything awesome you want to share with the class?
No, just same old, same old. Is there anything you want to share, Dutch?
We went to Pirate Fest.
Oh yeah. It's been a while, hasn't it? I'm trying to find your table here. So what are you playing?
Well, now we're playing the 2K.
Okay.
2K guaranteed. The freeze out ended up just
freezing you out.
Disaster.
Huh? Okay, let me get situated here. I've been waiting to find
Ace 9 in the big blind versus jacks in the small blind. We flopped a 9 and went with it.
Love with it.
That's
huh?
right.
Okay. Sometimes, yeah, folding's okay. No. Anyway, so I didn't see the hand, so okay, sorry about that.
There was never really a point, Michelle, where I think it would be a good fold. Maybe the turn, but I don't think so. I think that's the flop we're looking for.
Maybe okay.
But yes, I agree. Sometimes folding is okay.
Or maybe you just don't play that hand. Maybe not play Ace 9. But so, how many people play in that freeze out anyways before I make an assessment?
Freeze out's over for us.
But how many people played in it?
I don't know, 140 maybe.
Okay. We went to Pirate Fest. What else? Oh, we heard some drama about Poker Night America. Dutch told a very private secret onto the internet.
Yep.
to all the world. If you guys don't know, have the other players share. And yeah, so what did you want to talk about first, Dutch?
Well,
oh, here's Grinding the Grounds wanting to say, yes, please, hear the opinion on the Solomon Ponte as well. Ponte?
So Grinding and Ground, I'm the rookie and the vet. That's the first two things that they're asking about. One more thing, Dutch, needs to be a discussion on your opinion of hashtag King. Grinding and Ground says, yes, I too
would
love to hear that opinion on Solomon Ponte.
What happened? I never even heard of it. No, I'm just kidding.
Michelle heard. Everyone heard about it.
Jesus.
Everyone heard about
First
that
of all,
train wreck.
before you go on to your analysis, from what I gather, the very first part of the tournament that was being played, I think it was Sean Deebs that was the one that kind of set the mood.
Yeah.
For everybody, and I like Sean Deebs, but I want people to take that in consideration.
It's not plural; it's singular. It's just Sean Deeb.
Deeb.
It's only one of them.
Well, no, there's a few. There's there was like his fictitious sister.
His fictitious sister, Janine.
So there's actually a few of them, Dutch. You were incorrect on that. But anyway.
Okay, well, there's only one Sean Deeb.
Yes, there is. And he's a very nice gentleman, and I actually like him a lot. So, and I didn't watch the whole thing as it went, because it's very negative, and, it's long. It's like 8 hours.
So
right?
it was a really long live stream. The first session was like 2 hours and 50 minutes, and then they all took a break and came back, and then that was like another 5 hours.
Jeez. So 10 oh wow.
And then they had another stream on Saturday and another stream on Sunday. I haven't really watched those. I don't think anyone really watched those because they were nowhere near as I guess interesting, if we can call it that, as Friday's stream.
Well, I think it's good to have interesting entertainment in terms of pokers, though.
Instead of boring entertainment?
Well, no, it's not boring. It's just that a lot of these players are focused on making money, and they don't want to talk, or they don't talk, and it's just like one or two people that are like really hamming it up or being irritating. And I think that the problem with these Poker Night Americas is that they don't play the players, and they don't screen like characters. Like they should put characters, they should put particular characters into the Poker Night Americas. But in this one in particular, they did, because they got the bad boys. Is that what they were trying to?
That's kind of what they were shooting for. Bad boys of poker,
which is good format
episodes. So first off, it's not a tournament; it's a cash game. They're sitting down with their own money, playing $25.50 no limit. Now, keep in mind, they're not compensated for the show. Maybe they get a free flight. Maybe they get a free room.
They probably do.
They're playing their own money against usually some pretty tough competition. In this particular case, there's usually one or two weak spots on the table. On Friday night, it was this guy Solomon Ponte. So Solomon Ponte, I'd never heard of him before this episode, but I guess he has had some modest success on the tournament trail with winning a WPT Deep Stacks, which is I think a $500 tournament. And usually gets a very big field. I think he ended up getting something on the order of like a $300,000 score in this tournament. Let me just confirm that before. Let me look at his Hidden Mob here. I'm pretty sure that's kind of his, where he
claim to fame.
It's kind of his claim to fame. So he had an 1,100 no limit WPT Deep Stacks last January. In Southern Florida, and yes, indeed, $344,000 was the score there. Before that, he had never had a final table. Since then, he hasn't had any final tables. He's had a handful of min cashes, mainly in Southern Florida. Okay, so he's kind of a Southern Florida poker player, but very unremarkable when it comes to poker pedigree here. If you take out that single win. So the one win, and then just min cash, and less tournament cashes than I have fingers. So he's very fresh on the trail. His very first cash was in 2014. But he's been very loud and vocal on, let's go for a little value bet here. Can we get called with worse? I don't know. You know what? I think maybe just check and maybe we can induce a bluff by Kid Yahtzee. I just don't think that there's much worse that can call us. Maybe ace high, maybe like pocket threes. But if we fire out a bet, we're probably just getting through, and I think that's what would have ended up happening. Wilbur had king 8. What did Kid Yahtzee have? Would he have paid us off? No, he had king high as well. So best bet probably is to just check and induce a bluff by Kid Yahtzee. We'll make the fold here. So I guess he's been kind of vocal on Twitter. I had never heard of him. He was on live bike stream, live at the bike stream a couple of times in LA, but he kind of came out of nowhere.
Well, he had what, 5K to burn, I suppose, and a spot there. He had a spot to fill.
He was also one of the Blue Shark. He was on the Blue Shark Optics team as well.
Yeah, he's not in.
And I'm not sure if he negotiated that deal before or after he was set to appear on Poker Night in America. So it's Poker Night in America in Choctaw, which is Choctaw. I think it's Oklahoma, I believe. Yeah, so they're doing a Poker Night in America in Oklahoma, and they decided to try to do this Bad Boys of Poker episode where they get Sean Deeb and Doug Polk and Eric Wasserson and Kyle Boker, Brandon Cantu,
which didn't have any money coming in,
Mike Dintali, and Salomon Ponte, the hashtag king.
Why is he called the hashtag king anyway?
It's just a name he gave himself. He's the hashtag king.
He wanted a brand, so it's okay.
He's like the sofa king. The hashtag king.
Well, I don't know about the sofa king. I think sofa king makes more money.
So they all get together on this table. Ponte, he buys in for 5K. Brandon Cantu sits down and he doesn't have any money, and he is asking Sean Deeb to loan him money. And Sean Deeb is like, "Yeah, I don't feel comfortable with that." And Brandon's like, "Come on, give me a loan here. It's cool. Anyone would vouch for me. Anyone here at the table will vouch for me." And they're all like, "I don't know." And then Sean Deeb finally is like, "Are you vouching for him, Mike?" And Mike is like, "Yeah, I'd vouch for him." And so he gives him this 5K, and then Brandon Cantu's like, "You know what though? I need a little bit more. And Sean's like, "Okay, here's another 7K." And like this whole thing, it's like very weird because Brandon takes it and then immediately starts digging into Sean about what
Who gave him the money? I missed it.
Sean Deeb gave him the money.
He did. Good for Sean.
But here's the thing, okay? This is what you don't see. And it becomes clear after about 7 hours in another conversation that they have. Mm-hmm. But this was not a loan from Sean to Brandon. Mm-hmm. Sean would never loan Brandon money. Mm-hmm. Sean and Brandon do not get along. They have a huge, huge clash because Brandon has owed a lot of money to a lot of people in poker, and Sean Deeb is constantly calling him out for it. And very publicly, embarrassing him every time he can. And basically just letting everybody know that Brandon Cantu can't be trusted with loans, or to actually pay when he's on the wrong end of prop bets or open face Chinese matches. So Brandon Cantu and Sean and Jason Mercier have all had kind of this big Twitter war for the last 6 months. So it wasn't Sean loaning him the money. It turns out that Phil Hellmuth was loaning him the money, and Phil reached out to Sean asking Sean to give him $12,000
as a favor. Okay.
And Sean decides to have a little fun with it, I guess, and kind of make Cantu grovel about with it, for it at the table, and kind of like make it feel like maybe he's not going to get it. So
it was already planned.
It was already planned, yeah.
But he was being a dick on purpose.
Kind of. So then there's this back and forth between Sean and Brandon.
Wait, how do you know that Phil Hellmuth let him borrow the money?
Because later on in the episode, about 5 hours into the episode,
okay,
Sean and Cantu keep on talking, and Sean and makes it clear that the only reason he gave him any money was because Phil Hellmuth asked him to give him money.
Okay.
Asked him to give him money for Phil. So, and at that point, Brandon is like, well, I don't owe Phil, I owe you, and I'm going to put you on a 7-year payment plan. I might not even pay you back. Saying stuff like that. And it was really uncomfortable.
So Cantu was saying that.
Yeah.
Just to be a dick because he was being a dick back. So Cantu was kind of being like, well, I have the money now.
Pretty much, and it wasn't really it wasn't really nice to watch, but
it was very cringy and.
So, and then Sean says some pretty mean things to Brandon. Basically, calling him a big loser and saying how, he's like, the one remark that really stood out was, Brandon, the weird thing is your wife Leslie is actually a really cool person. For the life of me, I have no idea what she could have ever seen in you. And it was
but is this one of the first things? I mean, did he say this in the beginning? I mean, is this 5 hours later?
This is like hand number 2.
This is hand 2. Okay.
This is like at the very beginning of the show.
From your analysis, from you watching it.
At this point,
so Sean Deebs is the first gunshot or first shots fired about talking about other people's women.
I would say first shots fired talking about other people's women. Sean Deeb firing at Cantu.
And then
Cantu doesn't really say much to that. Okay. Instead, he's
probably like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know.
No, I love Brandon. He's cool. He's like, Brandon is awesome. He's just in this weird phase in his life right now where people have given him a fucking tremendous amount of money, which God knows why, and he's just trying to catch up, trying to get it back, trying to play or get back to where he once was. Which he probably won't ever. I mean, he might. He could. All he has to do is make a huge score. I mean, he could get there again.
He needs to make about 6 huge scores.
He could win the main event.
He could.
So there you go.
Yeah, that's the thing. Cantu could. He's capable. He's one of the. He's one of the most talented poker players I've ever played with when it comes to just raw talent.
And they're really good friends with Phil. They do.
He's very good friends with Phil, so he has access to a lot of cash games, and he's got a lot of access to home games and opportunities. He's very fun to hang out with, and I love Cantu. I watched him.
He's nice. He's funny, and he's.
I watched him break into the scene. I was there when he won his very first bracelet. I was there watching on the rail, and he put on a clinic. I was there watching when he won his second bracelet. I was watching the live stream when he won his WPT.
He's the one that made you do the prop bet to lose weight, so I would find you attractive.
That's right.
Without Brandon Cantu, Dutch and I wouldn't be married.
Probably not, because I would have been 240 pounds when I saw Michelle walking past me, and I would have been like, hey.
And I would have ran away.
And she would have been like,
I can run from this one, guys.
Yeah.
So, and we've been to his wedding.
Yeah, I was there watching him get married. I've met his kids, and he is someone that I adore.
But would not lend money to.
I would lend a little bit of money to him. I mean, his credit goes a little ways.
A couple hundred.
Yeah, a few hundred.
I mean, it's the.
But I would also.
We would never expect it back.
I would expect that it would take a long time.
Or we would have to be there at the final table and pull like a Chino Ream type situation.
But you know what? I didn't like seeing him take any abuse from Sean Deeb. I really didn't. I thought that was really kind of out of line. So it also kind of set the stage of negativity for the whole episode. Because
now you have this is how it's going to be type. Mm-hmm. And if people that do have empathy for Brandon or not could be, there could be sides taken.
I haven't
haven't drawn it. I don't know what the complex drama went on, but
well, most of the attention for the show quickly shifted to #King. Because he started going off about really kind of criticizing Sean Deeb. It was mainly Sean Deeb that he was criticizing.
But what was the trigger on that? What triggered him to all of a sudden attack him?
I think what happened was there was an incident leading up to it where Janine Deeb, who has no relationship to Sean Deeb, there's no relationship there. But if I understand what the context of the stage, Salomon Ponte must have said some things to Janine Deeb that she took it as sexual harassment. She kind of said as much, And Sean Deeb had kind of tweeted something to the effect of,
supporting her.
This guy's scummy, and he was sexually harassing Janine. And I guess that Salomon Ponte thought that Sean and Janine were had a sister-brother relationship, and so he felt like that Sean was even more involved with that incident than Sean really was. Sean was just throwing his support behind Janine.
Sure.
But he kind of sees it as throwing his support behind his sister, and his sister is such a piece of whatever, that she's tarnishing my reputation after I said harmless remarks to her.
So that she had a nice ass. He hot chocolate.
Whatever. Whatever.
Hey,
but Salomon Ponte.
You guys can say that. No, I didn't say that. Because I'm going to hear it. But anyway, Salomon Ponte.
So Salomon Ponte, quickly, he really started throwing, a lot of verbal abuse towards Sean. Calling him a bitch over and over and over. I kind of lost count.
Really? Just call him a bitch?
You're such a little bitch, man.
That's
Why
weird.
don't you call? You're a bitch. Straddle the button, you bitch. Over and over and over, just calling him a bitch.
So, wow, that's a little out of hand.
It really was. And then at some point...
I mean, how do you react to that if somebody's like, you're a bitch? I think, honestly, shouldn't Poker Night in America come in at that point? Have a floor guy? Say,
Poker Night in America.
I don't really understand that.
Poker Night in America is just trying to get ratings, and that gets ratings.
Okay, so they're going to let the abuse go, so as long as nobody gets killed. So they're just going to let them toe the line.
I think that they would probably just watch and film if someone got into a fight. Don't you think
they have some type of responsibility to the community to kind of, make sure that abuse doesn't happen, even to the players, the people, I mean, they're not getting paid to be there.
No,
I mean, it's abusive. If I was Sean Deebs, I'd be fucking mad. I'd be mad that they didn't step in and they didn't fucking correct that situation and warn him and give him a penalty or whatever the fuck they give him.
Well, Sean is pretty is pretty well known for dishing out his fair share of abuse. So I don't know, if he's not really the kind of person to complain about someone abusing him. It would make him look like a bitch.
Sean wouldn't complain. But that's what I'm saying. He wouldn't complain, but he should be upset about that. But it doesn't matter.
Does Poker Night in America have a responsibility to make sure that Salomon Ponte is not calling Sean Deeb a bitch at the table?
Well, let's stop here. If a guy was like, you have a fucking nice ass, baby, you have nice titties at the poker room, are they supposed to let that happen too?
I feel like they should probably step in and say,
no. Oh, you have a hot pussy.
You need to stop it. Yeah, you need to stop the abuse.
No, man.
Or you're
don't
going
be a bitch.
She's
fucking fine. I can smell her ass from here. So they would allow that, but they wouldn't allow. But that's what I'm saying. There's a hypocrisy there.
Yeah, I agree. But I think Poker Night in America just basically keeping quiet, letting the cameras roll and enjoying the drama, knowing that they're going to have some stuff to be able to put on their show.
And because of the drama, they actually made it escalate even more. So
there were some back and forths between Salomon Ponte talking about how he would never sexually harass Sean's sister because she's not attractive enough to sexually harass. Mm-hmm. Which was just
doesn't matter. You can sexually harass anybody, baby.
And then he starts talking about how ugly she is, and then he starts talking about how ugly Sean's wife is, and Sean decides to kind of sink down to his level. We're just going to make a call here, you guys. I don't really think we need a 4-bet. By saying, hey, you want to talk about ugly, look behind you. Behind Salomon Ponte is his girlfriend, right? He's got his girlfriend behind him, sweating him near the rail. You want to talk about ugly? Look behind you, is what he says to hashtag King, and which is his girlfriend's not doing anything. She's just sitting there,
But Sean Deeb is saying the same thing about his wife.
That's right. Hashtag King is saying nasty things about Sean's wife. Sean is saying nasty things about hashtag King's wife. They're both, in my opinion, they're both pretty much at the same level at this point. And it's really uncomfortable to watch. But then what happens?
They all get naked. And they start
and
fucking.
kiss.
Maybe they have sexual
Then things
tension.
get weird. No, then what happens is Salomon
I love you,
Ponte
Sean Deebs.
decides
I
to
love
make
you,
a big
Salomon.
raise with Ace King, and Sean Deeb calls him with Queen 8. Okay.
Okay.
The flop comes out, Ace 8-3. Sean Deeb has his pair of eights, right?
You said Ace 8, right? Or it's
Queen 8 versus Ace King.
Queen 8, not
Hashtag
Ace 8.
has his
Oh my
Ace
God.
King and fires out a
I'm
C-bet.
such a visual person.
Sean calls, turns the queen, so now he has two pair, and proceeds
Who has two pair?
to.
Who has two pair right now?
Sean Deeb has
Okay,
two
that's good.
pair.
That's
So
good.
hashtag has top pair, top kicker, and he checks, and Deeb fires out a big bet, and hashtag calls. And the river comes in nothing, like a 4 and or a 9, and he checks, and Sean Deeb stacks him. Fires out the full, all in bet. Hashtag King thinks about it. He makes the call with top pair, and he gets stacked. And then that's when things really start getting ugly, where now not only there's no playfulness in the bitch calling even before this, but now things are like really kind of getting ugly.
So it was playful before? It was just like...
It was like it started kind of, but no.
Okay.
There was some pretty... So, hashtag King, keeps on calling a bitch, saying things like, I'd rather be dead than have your wife.
Just keep on going at it. So that was out of line.
Keeps on going out of it. He's like, okay, well, I'm going to go get some more money. And he leaves all of his junk there, including, his Blue Shark optics. He's got a whole bunch of these chips that he printed out that says the hashtag King. He's got a bunch of hats that he's got printed out with his logo on it. And, so he goes out to try to get some more money. I guess he's like looking around the parking lot or something
he's
for
fucking
change.
buffalo hunting, man.
Yeah,
He's
pretty
out
much.
there fucking looking at the machines going, oh shit, this penny's here is mine.
Yep. Buffalo hunting. On the rail, asking people to stake him. And
I got this.
And actually what he's doing is he's on the phone trying to hit up everybody he knows to send him money, to get him money to play in this event.
Okay.
And so finally he gets together $3
Should have
grand.
asked Cantu.
Yeah. He gets together $3 grand and he sits back down at the table. And $3 grand is not enough to play. You have to have $5 grand. So he's taking off like...
They didn't let him buy him for 3?
No.
Oh, good. I thought.
And he's taking off his like watches and
play.
stuff, and he's taking off his he's taking his cell phones and his gold chain, and he's trying to get somebody at the table to loan him money against all this valuable collateral. And Cantu is kind of playing along, being like, "Oh well, maybe let's see. Let me take a picture of those watches." I know a lot of things about the finer, I know a lot about the finer things in life, is what Candy is saying. But I gotta say, I don't really know how much these watches are worth, so I'm not going to be able to loan you money against them. Stuff like that. It's like, well, maybe you can't loan him money because you don't have any money. You just borrowed money from Sean. It's like, what's going on here? So that's pretty much what happened. Everybody ended up looking pretty bad. There was some interactions between Doug Polk and Ponte, which were cringe. There were some interactions between Doug Polk and Cantu, which were pretty cringe. When Salomon Ponte and Doug Polk were talking about doing a big heads-up match at Live at the Bike, and Salomon Ponte tries to big-time him by saying, okay, well, let's play for $1 million. And Doug Polk is like, okay. And Salomon Ponte is like, okay, well, yeah, I'll see you there May 1st. And so Doug Polk tries to somehow get him to agree to an escrow, so they would escrow money to somebody, and if they didn't show up, then they'd lose the escrow, because he knows that Salomon Ponte is not going to show up May 1st to play $1 million heads-up match with Doug Polk. Doug sees that. Everyone knows. Everyone sees it. But Salomon Ponte is like, fine, I'm fine. We'll escrow the $1 million to somebody, and at that point, Brandon Cantu came up with what I think was the best line in the whole episode when he was like, would you guys like to escrow it with me? Which I just wanted to reach into the monitor and just like hug Brandon for just like bringing levity to the situation.
It looks like Brandon was kind of treating the situation as an entertainment opportunity as well.
It was so funny.
And Brandon is a very funny guy.
Oh, Brandon is hilarious. But
that is really funny. You should cut that.
I will. I'm going to be doing a little review video on that poker night in America event, you guys, because it was something else. What I will tell you is, no one came off looking very good. Sean D came off looking pretty bad, and I know Sean. I like Sean. He can be very abrasive. But he has the respect of pretty much everybody in poker as far as skill goes, and he also has a very good reputation for being trustworthy. Whether people like him or not, I think most people would agree that he is a skilled player and very trustworthy.
Yeah.
So, but he really did kind of get down to hashtag's level.
Yeah, but I don't blame him at the same time. I mean, emotions are out there, and if somebody
I agree, and I don't really blame Sean, but I would point out that later on in the event they were talking about how talking about hashtag and be like, yeah, you just don't talk about people's families and stuff, and Sean was like, yeah, I never do that, but he did like he did it twice in the show. He did it to Cantu and he did it to hashtag. And it really just was very negative and ugly on his part. And hashtag was way worse. Way worse. Yeah, because
he wouldn't,
But hashtag is a douchebag. Sean is the pro. He's supposed to be the pro here, trying to,
train those rough edges, smooth rough edges. So I think in a lot of those, situations, unfortunately, when people get put in positions like that, they just don't know how to act. I didn't
really think Doug Polk came across very well. There were a few times in the show where it really like looked like he was just had a huge ego on him. There was a point when they were talking about their heads up match where Doug kind of flipped out when Salomon Ponte said he didn't know who Doug was. And then later on,
Cantu's asked him, "Do you know who I am?"
that was another great point when Salomon's like, "Why would you think that I would go broke? You're probably going to go broke before May 1st. Why do you think I don't? You're just nobody." And Doug's like, "Do you even know who I am?" And Salomon's like, "No, I don't know who you are." And Doug completely flips out. And Brandon he's like, "Wait, Doug, wait. Do you know who I am?" And Salomon's like, "Yeah, of course." Cantu just lights up and looks at Doug, and that was one of the
highlights.
Another one of the highlights. But I don't think Cantu came off looking good. I think that he came off looking kind of egotistical. I think he kind of came off looking a little bit scummy and deginny. Definitely came off looking like broke ass degen pro. And I didn't think that it was good for his image.
Well, I guess he's
Eric Wasserson and Kyle Boker, they came off, looking flat and boring.
Well, boring,
just sitting back taking the money.
That's better, whatever. I think that's better.
It's definitely better.
Normal.
Yeah.
Looking like normal people.
It's funny, Mike Dintali actually...
They were just acting normal.
They were just acting normal. Beings. It's funny, though, because Mike Dintali was he actually came off looking pretty cool.
See, there you go.
He felt it pretty quick and handled it well, and he actually of that starting lineup came off looking the best in my opinion. But I'll tell you the whole thing. I'm watching it, and there was just so much negativity.
Well, I definitely think they should have a green room. If Poker Night in America has learned anything in this, they should have a room where people can go back and kind of chill and talk, where it's filmed. And then they can resolve their issues. It's kind of like a behind the scenes. It could be all cards revealed or hands revealed.
Yeah,
it's they hug it out and shit, and they have a therapist. They might have what's that guy's name? Phil, Dr. Phil in there. So discussing them and trying to help them. I think that's a good show right there, dude.
Yeah, I think that would probably be pretty good.
I think in the bigger picture with humans though, and people and poker players. I think that people grow. So, I mean, I know people are hating on #King, and I don't blame you guys for hating on him, but, you know, he can grow as a person to be a better person eventually one day. I don't condone his behavior at all, but, I mean, abusing him is just being as bad as him.
Yeah, people do change, but it takes a lot of time, too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, people definitely don't change over time.
I think it was a real mistake for him to show up on that show. And I think that the way the biggest loser there was definitely him. But I watching the show, there was so much negativity and so much ugliness that it made me, you know, I've been playing poker, you know, as a professional card player since 2002. You know, 15 years I've been playing, 3 bracelets. You know, I haven't, you know.
Don't be bragging, Dutch. Damn.
No, I mean, like, what I'm saying is I've made a career out of this, and watching that show made me question what I was doing with my life. It made me think, what am I doing playing poker for a living?
Because it's like saying that
it made me question what I am aspiring to be and what I do. And so to answer the question, is it good or bad for poker? It was bad. Toxic. It was fucking toxic. It's horrible. It's no one's going to watch that saying, you know what, I want to be just like Doug Polk. I want to be just like Sean Deeb. I want to be just like Brandon Cantu. There was nobody on that show that anyone's going to look at and aspire to be. And it was bad.
Well, yeah, and I think that the issue in this formula for this kind of Poker Night in America thing is kind of off because it's not entertainment. It's not like RuPaul's Drag Race where they're all bitches and they're trying to dress up and they get $100,000 prize at the end. They don't gain anything from this. The only gain is at some other person's expense. They're at they're around the table and. It's kind of hard to watch, and they're not growing. It's like a really weird. It's a really weird dynamic for a show. But I mean, poker players are not normally all like that. That's what sucks, you know. I mean, if I was like 18 or 20 years old, 21, watching that show, I think you're right because I would be like, ooh, those guys are fucking rude, or those guys are fucking crazy. I don't want to be in a violent, that kind of violent, intense situation. I just want to enjoy the game for what it is. I mean, you don't see golf players fucking doing that.
Yeah.
You don't see, and when you see football players do that, they get fucking penalized and fined.
They do.
And I think maybe that has to happen. They need to get. I mean, that's how they maintain the integrity of the game, don't they? With like football and sports, if you do something fucked up to someone, and you get in trouble for it. I mean, if they want to sportify something like poker, they need to get out of this toxic mentality. If they really want it to go further, otherwise it's going to kill people. Because poker could be something where, people in all spectrums of morality could play, but if the spectrum leans too much on the evil or in the negative, those good people aren't going to play. But what do I know?
So,
I don't play the shit.
There it is.
So yeah. So
if there's another thing that I would say is I don't really think it was good for Poker Night in America either. Ratings or not, I'll tell you, any interest I had in ever being on that show have evaporated.
Really? You wouldn't ever go on it?
Absolutely not.
Not even if I was like, I don't know.
Nope.
You know what? I challenge you, if you do ever want to go on it, I think you should take it as an experience to be the positive and the better person, the hero.
I'm never going to go on that show.
Be the fucking hero if you're going to go on that show.
Watching that show made me realize I will never go on that show. I've been invited a couple times now. I will never be on that show.
But babe, it's not good like hero training. You gotta say it. You have to bring like
it will never happen.
Well, good one-liner.
You guys have heard it here. I will never be on that show because of that episode.
We'll see. I just don't.
So
I don't say,
ratings or not, it didn't help Poker Night in America. They might see some short-term gains, but I think that they're going to have. I actually think they're going to have a harder time filling up those seats in the future and producing quality content. Also, I would like to let you all know,
into like a Jerry Springer type.
Blue Shark Optics is, one of my sponsors and one of the sponsors of the show. They have severed ties with Solomon Ponte since Friday. So he is no longer part of the Blue Shark Optics team, and he's not representing that brand anymore. So good for Carrie. Over there at Blue Shark Optics for making what I think is the right decision there. Well, Jesse, I think I'm actually going to make this fold. I think that Jesse probably has, at worst, something like overcards with a flush draw. And, at best, something that is really kind of crushing us, leaving us with 5 outs. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of there.
I back to the Poker Night and Rake thing. I do hope that they use this as a learning experience to make their content better, Dutch. I don't think you should throw them out the door yet, because you don't know what they're going to do in the future. I mean, if they be turned into Jerry Springer, obviously.
You know what? You're right. People change, just like and shows change. Jerry Springer is a good example. Jerry Springer started pretty wholesome.
Green Wongtong wants to know, Dutch, is more Rake good for poker?
Well, the thing is, Green Wonton, it can go both ways. On the one hand, less Rake makes the games easier to beat, so more players can actually cash out as a whole. But for very low games, more Rake, a higher Rake, will keep the pros out. So the games are actually much, much better for the recreational players, which will lose anyway. But they'll lose at a much slower pace and basically just be passing around them.
Dutch is being sarcastic if you don't know, guys.
He knows.
No, he doesn't know. This is probably his first time watching.
More Rake is not good for poker, obviously, and he's just making fun of that whole Rake at Doug Polk meme.
With the whole...
Yeah.
Well, he might not know. I mean, and other people that are watching might not know.
It's pretty obvious that more Rake is not better for poker.
But it's not obvious because there's actually a school of poker thought that doesn't think so. So that is actually incorrect. But we think it is.
And then that school of thought is called operators.
Yeah, those are the hustlers, guys.
Those are the operators.
Or the operators, sorry.
Well, more Rake will allow us to spend more money on marketing. No, the ideal, I dream of a poker Green Wonton which won't be negative sum. I would like to see poker eventually turn into a game that's actually a positive sum game where no Rake is being taken out, no tournament buy-ins are being taken out, and money is actually being added in the form of sponsorship dollars, marketing dollars.
Yeah, I wonder why poker never hit off in the game show genre, where they have people if the winner of this tournament wins a Honda or whatever, a new Mercedes or a trip to Cabo.
Where no one ever loses and everybody wins.
Yeah, everybody. If you make it to the final 9, you get something.
I would really like to see poker eventually turn into something like that. And Green Wonton, saying Negroni thinks more Rake is good for poker. He's said one thing in an interview where I'm sure he wishes he could go back and take that sound clip and just forget it ever happened, because he's come off on many more videos and many more tweets saying, I never said that more Rake is better for poker. Obviously more Rake is not better for poker. Why would I ever be for more Rake in poker? Well, you did kind of say that, Danny. You did, but
I don't think he meant
I'm glad that you don't think that is the case. And I actually criticized him on Twitter for saying that more Rake was better for poker right when that interview came out. And he was like, I never said that. I was like, okay, well, I'm glad that you don't agree with that. I'm glad that, he doesn't really think that more Rake is better. He said he doesn't think more Rake is better. So I think, all this mud that Doug Polk is throwing at Danny is kind of ridiculous, because Danny obviously doesn't believe that more Rake is better.
He just said the wrong thing at the wrong time.
And Doug is like, yes, you do, because you said this one time when you were laying in bed for an interview that no one watched. And no one would have really cared about that interview if he didn't say that one thing.
The whole school of thought of poker and Rake, I mean, a lot of it, and a lot of conversations that are being recorded in interviews, I mean, a lot of people are changing their opinions all the time, and it's like maybe he was thinking out loud or thinking of a process in his brain and, trying to work it out. Everybody's... I feel like being static is it static that's bad? Or being not mobile is bad. Like, not being able to change your mind is a bad thing.
Yeah.
I mean, he may have said it, but he could change his mind about it, for example. And actually broke down. Look at our president. He always changes his mind. He thought NATO was worthless, and now he thinks it's great because he learned more about it.
It's kind of funny because I would imagine that... Like what Negroni was basically saying there was that if you increase the Rake at certain limits, then it makes the game completely unbeatable for anybody. Mm-hmm. But for the big losers in the game, that actually is okay for them, because that drives out the higher rake drives out anybody who would be making money on that table. So everyone's losing, but since they're all playing against other losers, they actually lose at a slower pace than if the games were such where a lot of the money could be taken out from the pros. So I understand what he's saying, that more rake could be better for a certain type of player because it makes it so that when they lose slower. It's basically what he was saying.
Okay.
I don't think that's the case at all.
Because you're understanding what he's saying, because he's thinking on a different, way different level.
But what I'm saying, I'm suggesting that he could probably back up that argument with numbers from PokerStars, but it's misleading, because most of the money that is going, like the most profound effect that like lower rakes are going to have isn't by making the game more beatable for the pros. It's going to be by making it so that like the losers who have busted out do bust slower. Like lower rake makes it so that the losers bust slower.
I guess in an operator standpoint, you don't want that, obviously, because you just want to take it all as fast as you can.
From an operator's point of view, you want to maximize deposits and minimize withdrawals.
Yeah.
And
so
however
guys,
you do
give
that.
us everything in your bank account. You guys don't have to watch us anymore.
Okay, guys, so this tournament is on a 5-minute break. Play will resume in 4 minutes. We're going to go on break ourselves. When we get back, we're going to try to be making a deep run in this 2K. Also probably going to be loading up the 3K as well. And, guys, you all are awesome. Thanks so much for joining us for this Monday stream. We'll be right back.
don't get it. No.
Okay, guys, we're back. We are back, and before we start, I want to show you guys a little sneak preview of something.
I was thinking that you were going to put it on during break, so they don't get distracted with the hands.
No, I'm gonna show them right now.
Okay.
I have to download it first, though.
Oh, never mind. So it might be a while.
It might be a second.
I thought you downloaded it already.
I thought I did too, but I can't find it.
Oh, well, shit happens.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. I want to show you guys a little sneak preview of something that Michelle has been putting together for a vlog that we've got planned for the WSOP.
Yeah, and I want to...
I guess it's not vlog, it's vlog.
No, it doesn't matter what it is. It's for our YouTube videos that we're going to start. And apologies about the B-roll, because we're going to do we're going to do better B-roll, so...
We will be real. Is it rail? Be rail. Be real.
I don't know. We're gonna.
Be real.
The quality isn't good because I'm still learning to use my 70D, and we need a stabilizer. But I feel like it's okay.
It's pretty good.
You sure
Check
you
it
want
out,
to show
you
it, or
guys.
do you want to just
Yeah.
play the tournament
Sneak preview of the intro for our new vlog that's going to be coming out during the WSOP, where I just talk about.
Well, a new vlog. I don't know what. I think it's going to come out before. Aren't you going to?
You think it'll come out before?
Yeah, that's why.
It might come out before.
So make sure you subscribe to Dutch's YouTube channel, which is totally free, and hopefully we'll be able to get some stuff out. I think you're going to do You're going to do this. You're going to do this. What is this? The American Night or the Poker Night in America thing, right? As a vlog too, right?
I am going to do a recap of that Poker Night in America.
Yeah, so I mean, there's going to be more. We're going to try. We're kind of going to do more YouTube videos in the future. We're working on content. But anyways, you can show them it now.
Okay, I'm trying to load it up here.
Oh, I guess it doesn't work. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
How embarrassing.
So, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? That is that's probably going to be the rough draft intro.
Something like that. The song is going to stay for sure. Probably going to get some more.
Get a little bit more B-reel to kind of fill in some gaps. There's a few tiny little clips that I think are a little shaky that we probably need to pull out.
Yeah, but we're working on it. That's the example.
And the song's definitely staying. The song's perfect.
Yeah, and we did it during a weird hour, right before the golden hour. So that's why the colors are kind of. I don't really like the colors. I think we should do it more in the afternoon. Where
try to do some color correction too. Been messing around
I'm gonna try to
bit.
we're gonna try to get better video out there. So we'll be out and about.
By the way, big shout out to Mouse Beast. Thanks so much for the resub. 13 months in a row.
Mouse Beast,
cool.
Yeah,
awesome.
right on. You know what we should do for this year outside of the WSOP? If there's any crew members, I should take video of them, and then we can cut a video of them.
Yeah.
In the intro.
It's a good idea.
So we'll figure that out. Or that's actually I'm gonna.
Good enough to write down?
That is a good one for one. I come up with the greatest ideas when I'm on stream, but when I'm off stream, I forget about everything. So that's my life.
Pretty good flop for Ace 7 of clubs. Kind of one of those flops where if Wilbur decided to make a check raise, I'm I'm loving the hand. But I love it a lot more here on the flop than on the turn. Oh, Bony Fish, real name is Salomon Ponte.
Oh, and he has a corporation.
Salomon Ponte.
He's a trademark for that, guys.
Really?
That's what Bob Hatter said. Hey, Bob. It's right there, the search.
Well,
he's trying to make a brand for
good
himself.
For him. Good
do you
for
think
him.
He's going to try to do his brand to be a dick all the time then? Is that his brand? Dick? A big penis?
I guess that's his brand.
It could
that's
be
his trademark.
A dick with a crown on it. That'd be awesome. Playing cards.
Green Eye Monster, thanks for the compliment about the AI show. That was a fun one to do. Mr. Keeks getting his queens cracked. That's pretty rough, buddy. Did that all go in pre-flop? I think it did. I can't imagine that he got it in there post. No, looks like he got actually most of it in post-flop.
Oh, there is a little shakes in it. I just saw the Venetian part of it.
The Venetian one is.
That was from
shaky
processing, though. Like we're using very, very easy editing because
I don't feel like paying $600 for the Creative Cloud suite.
Yeah. Well, I don't either. I feel like we just need to do better video.
And everything that would be using Creative Cloud for, there's pretty good open source alternatives. There's instead of Audition, which is everything for sound, Audacity is the open source version. It's pretty good. There's tons of nonlinear editing software. Movie Maker is not so bad. iMovie for iMac is not so bad. For color correction, DaVinci's Resolve actually is used more in film than even.
I think that we don't really need to color
Premiere.
correct if we did the timing right, because I feel like the time with the sunset is not a very good time to do it.
Probably not. I don't know why people keep on raving about golden hour. Because
it's only for photography, I think.
Is that right?
Yeah, because I think that when I was an extra, we had to do it before the fucking sun was set, because you want to keep the time in a movie consistent, and when the golden hour hits, then you've lost light and the timing in the movie is going to be off.
Yeah. So, I'm proud of Michelle. She did it.
Well, I cut it, but we both did the B-reel. Whatever it's called. But we're learning our camera. It sucks, because I hate learning camera. I hate learning new things.
And yeah. So Jesse making a move on my big blind. Going to be making the call here with the pocket threes. So yesterday, you guys want to know how? Well, now we can make the fold against Mr. Keeks' 3-bet. You guys want to know how we went out of the? How I got knocked out of the win signature event? It kind of sucked. So after the blinds start getting pretty big, I'm kind of floundering around with 18 big blinds or so. Make a move against a blind. Guy shoves all in. Another guy re-shoves all in. So I make the fold down to 15 bigs. Make another move for a big blind. Get 3-bet. I don't have anything, so I fold down to 13 bigs. The big blind hits. Small blind hits. Then I get moved to another table right under the gun. 4 tables left. I've got 11 bigs. I fold. The big blind comes around and I fold. So now I have like 9.5 big blinds. And I'm thinking, gosh, this is not where I want to be. I've got 96,000 and blinds at this point just went up to 510. It's this LA semi-pro named Wendy who opens up. And there's a couple of things that she does which make me just pretty convinced that she is opening very light. The big blind has somewhat of a reputation for playing pretty tight. So that makes me feel like it's a good spot for her to be opening light. But there were, even on top of that, even on top of just the fundamentals of where we were, her chip stack, who was in the big blind, there were actually some live tells also that made me just convinced that she was pretty weak. I looked down at Queen 9 of Diamonds and I decided to go ahead and make this shove, thinking that I could probably push her off of a lot of hands. And a lot of times I'm actually even going to be ahead with Queen 9 of Diamonds. I actually thought that, she's the kind of player who would, in that situation, open wide enough where, 8-7 suiteds and 9-7 suiteds, things like that, the small suited connectors. I think that she makes those opens, and she also makes those opens with smaller pocket pairs, raggedy aces, court cards, where there could be a chance that Queen 9 is actually the best hand going in, but it's going to be playing pretty good against whatever range she has, where I think she's at if she decides to call. But I look down, I have 9.5 big blinds in the small blind, and I think that maybe I have just enough to get her to make the fold. So she made it 18,000, which you can't make it 18, or not 18,000. She made it she made it 18,000, which was her bet for the previous level, right? So she's going to have to actually make it 20,000. And I go all in for 75,000 more. And she thinks for a long time, and I kind of messed this up. I kind of messed it up because there were a few things I did looking back where I would have read me for weak. There was, the way that I announced all in, the voice inflection I used, the way I moved my chips forward, my actions afterwards. There were a few things that I did where I leaked weakness, but I don't think that, on the ride home, because she does end up making the call, I, was kind of beating myself up thinking, I could have sold that better. But then I stopped beating myself up over it because because I remembered that before she made the call, she was, you're ahead, and she makes the call, and she turns over the ace 4. So I guess I did sell it, right? She said you're ahead, made the call anyway. So what is she putting me on? Maybe a bigger ace, maybe a pocket pair, hoping that I have pocket queens or something, so that she's getting 2-1 to make the call. So I'm not beating myself up over it anymore because I actually sold it fine. She didn't pick up on any of the live stuff that I felt like I would have picked up if I was in her seat. But she just decided to make the call because she had a lot of chips and she could afford it, and she felt like she's probably getting the right odds to make the call. So we have to catch a queen or a 9 or diamonds or some sort of straight, and I don't, and I'm out the door. Interesting. So Blink 21 firing out 1487 into 3375. I actually hit that flop, and I'm going to go ahead and make the call here. We'll see what the turn brings. So Blink 21 checking makes me think that we're probably ahead here. But Blink actually probably has enough outs where if we make a half pot bet or even a pot size bet, he's going to call. So let's just check back, planning on calling the river as long as the club doesn't come. It's not the river card I really want to see here. So I'm going to go ahead and just release if Blink 21 fires. Nice hand, Blink.
Poker Mindset Coach sub for 21 months in a row. Hey, good to see you.
Really appreciate that, Poker Mindset Coach.
This
Thank you so much for being an awesome part of the stream. We also have Iceman Kiwi chilling out with us as well.
Yay.
4 months in a row subbing.
Well,
You're awesome,
longer
Kiwi.
than that. Iceman Kiwi's been here longer.
Yeah, he's been here since the beginning.
Oh, cool. Insane is telling me, or he's asking me if I use GIMP and Blender. He uses all of it because he's on a Linux. Do you have Linux anymore, Dutch, or you're over that?
I have a laptop with Linux on it. And then
over that train.
Mac is built on Linux. Okay, guys, so top pair, top kicker against Jesse and Don Sombra. I think we'll just make the shove here.
So, Dutch, when we make our B-roll, we have to do a time-lapse reel because ain't no poker video good without any time lapses.
Probably going to be behind Don Sombra here.
Ooh.
Not as worried about Jesse as I am Don Sombra, but for Don Sombra to just cold call the 4-bet shove, we're probably going to just jump into this 3K. Yeah, we're in bad shape. Nice hand there, Don Sombra. Okay, let's get into the 3K.
Okay.
And this is going to be it. This is going to be the last tournament that we play today. So, make it count.
People like a polarizing player, I suppose, in poker, though. I guess he outed a bookie. Hashtag.
Not really sure what that means.
On his Instagram, I suppose. He, put his... I don't know what that means. He probably put a picture of him up.
We said he outed a bookie on some insane stuff. So I don't know what you're gonna have to fill us in on the drama, Big Lebowski. What did the bookie do?
Well, Jason Mercier kind of talks about it. A Blurred 11s wants to know, or says, congratulations on your engagement. You're engaged, Dutch? When did you get engaged?
I got engaged.
What? When?
December?
What happened? Tell
Didn't
me.
I tell you?
No, you
I'm
didn't.
pretty sure I told you about
No,
this.
you didn't. So how did she say yes?
She did.
Oh, wow. Were you nervous?
I was.
Oh, my gosh. How did it go? What did you do?
So it was kind of funny after 8 years together.
Really? That long?
After 8 years together, finally asked Michelle, and I was actually nervous. I was. It was funny. We've been together so long. You'd expect that. Of course she's gonna say yes.
Honestly, if I did know that you were gonna propose, I'd probably say no. So that was good.
That'd
on
be
you.
crushing.
You did good. No, because if
You
I
saw
knew
it coming.
Yeah, so I didn't even see it coming. So.
Well, now you're contractually obligated.
God dang it. Well, I have the consideration on. So.
Yeah, we actually got engaged in December, and we've just been kind of keeping
December, your birthday.
Yep, on my birthday. It was the best birthday ever. Actually, that was the best birthday I've ever had. Usually my birthdays suck. That birthday was awesome. Had some dinner at Nobu. Proposed right underneath the David statue. And everything just fell into place that day. It was a great day. I was pretty nervous asking.
Yeah, and it's the David statue at the Caesars is where he proposed under the David butt.
Yeah.
Because it was very romantic. No, what happened was that we always walk by there when we go to the buffet or when we
used to go to the gym over there.
And every time we walk by, I'd always say that David had a piece of clothing on.
She was always saying stuff oh my gosh, they put shorts on him.
Yeah, or
and
wow, they
I would
put clothes on him.
I would you're kidding me, and I would look up and just get a great big eye full of balls. She got me about 4 times, way more often than I fell for it.
On the way back and everything too.
I fell for it more often than you'd think. She's like, oh, they do actually have a ribbon on him. She would say it like that. She was
wow.
Oh wow, they actually did put a ribbon on him this time. Believe me.
Oh, wow.
They must have had some complaints. Look, they covered him up. She would say it so convincingly. And then I just get a great big eye full of balls.
So when we went and got the pictures the day that he asked me, I was like, oh, cool, we're going to get pictures. Can we get in front of the dick? And then we got pictures, and he's like, let's take another picture here. I'm like, okay, cool, by the butt. And then we go around to the, kind of like the side, and then he drops on one knee, and I'm like, what are you doing? And then, that's how he did it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was shocked. But I said yes, and then we went to dinner, and I was like in shock. It was very sweet. I never thought Dutch would buy me a ring, so it was kind of a surprise on that side too, so. Anyhow, but beyond that comment, Dutch, Blurred 11 also wanted to know how are the games, the quality of the competition of the Venetians in the multi-table tournament.
Well, I think they're going to be a little bit higher than you're going to see in the WSOP prelim weekend tournaments. I think that you get a lot of people who have been playing a lot of prelims like regularly, but still very soft. The Venetian Deep Stacks are coming up here in May, leading into the World Series, and then...
How much are those tournaments for the Deep Stacks?
They range anywhere from 400 to... I think there might even be some 250s. Mm-hmm. So they range anywhere from like $250 all the way up. There's even a 10K during the Deep Stack.
Well, I was looking for a cheap one, because I was like maybe thinking about doing one, but now $400 is a lot.
If you're going to play...
I'd rather buy some...
If you're going to look for a cheap tournament to play, I would suggest playing the Colossus. Actually, Poker News just put together a schedule showing all of the options this summer, and it's interesting because the WSOP actually has the lowest tournament juice of pretty much everywhere. Yeah.
Don't they have like a late night really good tournament too during that time?
Yeah, like the Deep Stacks. The daily Deep Stacks is what you're talking about, and those are always really weak fields and decent structures and pretty cheap. But they also are those
Rake.
Actually have a pretty high rate.
Oh, those are Rake.
But it's not a bad. It's not bad. It's not a bad. It's not a bad tournament.
Do this caliber of guys smell better?
Like
if you were to like go to a Deep Stack,
rate the smell.
Yeah, like in terms of smell. Like,
in terms of smell,
what smells better and fresh? Or
the WSOP does not smell fresher. I actually think that like what ends up happening is you got a lot of people coming out for the WSOP with only about 5 different changes of clothes, and they are pretty much just rotating their T-shirts, and it's okay for the first couple of weeks.
Or if it's like the ladies' event, they just wear so much perfume. Oh. Like, they wear a lot of perfume. I was like, really like, wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, when you play the WSOP and you're next to a lady, do they tend to wear a lot of perfume? Or is that a tactic, you think?
There's some players that douse with perfume for sure.
Oh, they want to see my ring. Can you see it? Can you see it on the stream? Can you see it? Is it focused? Closer?
Yeah, bring it closer,
It's real. I checked. I made touch check.
If you hold it right in front of the camera.
Focused?
It's not really focused.
It's really pretty clarity and everything. Is that better? Anyway.
Still focused on your face.
Very nice ring. I was very impressed by it. Yeah, Dutch wanted to get me some cheap-ass ruby.
Well, yes.
I probably would have said no. I would if you gave me.
I gave you a ruby.
Just because out of principle. Because I think I've told you time and time again.
It's funny because it's like the principle.
I wanted a diamond. Diamond.
That's why I wanted to get you the ruby, was because of the principle of blood diamonds.
No, whatever. I understand that Zales. I understand, guys. Zales brainwashed society to believing that diamonds are scarce, and it's a whole sham against men versus women for men buying diamonds. So, well, Disneyland is fucking there too, and I enjoy that. So, there. And I enjoy diamonds. And I enjoy sugar. So, yeah. We're just in a world of manipulation and rake. So, there you have it. And June agrees.
All right. You know what? I'm actually going to go ahead and make a raise here. I kind of like the idea of pushing out Richard Parker and ULGG in the blinds, playing 8-9 offsuit on the button in position. I kind of want to push out hands like Jack 8 and King 9. Things, if I make the raise here, I think it's a lot more likely that if I actually do hit a 9 or an 8, it's going to be the best hand. Plus, we get to do this, which is almost always a nice profitable bet. It's going to get through most of the time. Just Kick Ladder, good to see you in the stream, by the way, man. And hey, stay on the rail, and Iceman Kiwi, thank you very much for the bit cheers. Really appreciate those.
And I love you too, Dutch.
Thank you.
And the crew is the best crew in the world. Maybe we'll stream the wedding. Wouldn't that be awesome, Dutch, streaming the wedding? I think we should.
Would it be?
I think it'd be awesome to stream it, guys.
I got a buddy out in Fargo who started streaming, live streaming funerals. So,
okay. That's kind of sad.
We can't make it to a funeral.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, you just pop on the live stream.
That's actually that's a good idea, Traveling's so expensive, and with airlines...
The last stream of the Dutch Boyd Show.
And with online, or with airlines beating people, I can see why people would want to stay home. So, Nobu is where we ate. Nobu. Oh, when's the date of our wedding? I don't know. Probably like 10 years from now.
Yeah, we're probably looking at like another 8 years. I don't know. We're gonna we don't have a date set. It could happen anytime. And No Tilt here says, can the whole crew get an invite to the wedding? It depends on where it is. If we have it somewhere really remote, then yes, we'll invite everybody. We're like, we're gonna have it in Greenland. Everyone's invited. We're registered at Bed Bath & Beyond. But we'll actually probably end up having it here in Vegas.
Yeah, probably Vegas wedding. I don't know how we're gonna do it, guys. It's a lot of work, and it's kind of stressful. It gives me a little bit of an anxiety because I don't want to miss anyone, and I don't want it to be too expensive. So maybe we'll do a whole drive-through wedding. Stream it on the drive-through. That'd be kind of fun. We could stream it through the drive-through, Dutch. We just get a little GoPro, put it in the car, get a little limousine, just drive through.
Mm-hmm.
They'll give us a little bag of goodies. Well, we have options. We're thinking about it.
And Alex Keaton asking a poker question: do you think Tourney Rake will continue to grow, or are we capped out? Alex, it can't get too much higher than it is over at some of these places like Binion's and Planet Hollywood. I mean, some of these events, I just can't. I still can't even believe how much they are raking off of it. When I played, one of my buddies had a birthday on Wednesday, so he had me come down to the Wynn to play a satellite into their signature event. So it was an $80 satellite, like a super satellite.
Oh, you have the wrong table up, Dutch. By the way,
how'd that happen? Sorry, guys.
LOL. Thank you, Archie Cavuto.
Must be the one that we busted out of
yeah.
with the... Yeah.
Dutch was so excited about the announcement of his engagement.
Yeah, they raked it at 25%. So for every $800 that was in the prize pool, they took out $200. And so they didn't give you a $600 seat that they raked again when you actually play the event. It's pretty brutal. Tournament juice gets to a certain point where the game just becomes unbeatable. And I don't really know where that point is. But I suspect that it's not going to be too much higher than 25-30%. Pretty brutal. I think when I'm looking at the schedule, I'm definitely using the buy-in juice to decide whether to play events or not. And there are some events that I just won't play because the juice is too high. And whether it's beatable for me or not, it doesn't matter. I'm basically voting with my dollar. Planet Hollywood is pretty bad at this. I can't tell you how often I look at their schedule and I think to myself, wow, why would anyone play these events? How can anybody actually sustain a positive ROI playing events where they take out 22% of the prize pool? WSOP circuit prelims are the same way. And it kind of sickens me, and this is why I don't really play a lot of those prelims. Even when they come through Vegas, I might play the main event, where traditionally the higher the buy-in, the lower the juice is. So the $1,600 WSOP circuit mains usually have about a 10% juice. But I would like to think that it'll go the other way. I mean, especially as the tournament customer gets a little more savvy. There's definitely more information out there about poker and about how to play poker, and there's definitely more communication between the players. So I think as long as we do our part and make sure to consider Rake when we're shopping around and deciding what events to play, then hopefully just natural competition will drive it down. But even more than that, I'm really hoping that long term we're going to see more opportunities for poker to actually get into that positive sum realm, and we were already seeing that this year with tournaments like the WBT Tournament of Champions, where it was rake free, $100,000 added a car, added a whole bunch of other prizes. I would like to see other ways for these tournament venues to be monetizing their tournament rather than just trying to suck out as much money from their player pool as they can, because it's definitely not healthy for the economy. Jay Rigoni, good to see you. Good to see you. He says, it's your first wedding. Do it right. Trust me.
Well, it's your first wedding. It's my third.
Yeah. So I think that's good advice, Jay Rigoni. Doing it right. We're going to elope. Get married on a boat.
Yeah, Dutch would rather just go to the courthouse, I think, all said and done.
I would.
So, yeah, you know what? Now I'm going to be, a stream wedding would be kind of fun. Everybody can emote. Like rice.
Well, we definitely have to put it on sub-chat only, because I would not be in the mood to have to deal with our troll friend calling, oh my gosh, you look like Uncle Fester in that tux.
Well, I have to lose a lot of weight, and I don't want to get married until I'm like a size better. So yeah, I've actually been losing weight, guys. I'm now down to 134.9. I was 140.
That's pretty good.
I was like teetering between 140 and 145.
I lost about 15 pounds this year, guys. I don't know if you can tell. I don't know if you can tell or not, but yeah, working out is good for your game. Actually, if there's one piece of advice that I can give you guys, best way to actually improve your results at the game and everywhere in life is to work out regularly. Work out. I can't believe how much it improves your thought process actually going out and working out. And I've really been thinking that it's just something you have to make time for. If I don't work out every day during the series, and then afterwards I know I'm going to be beating myself up thinking I didn't really do everything I could to give myself a chance at those bracelets. No Tilt here 24 says, are you religious, Dutch? No, I can't say that I am. Can't say that I am. I have moments of spirituality.
You know what, Dutch? Maybe we should get into this. Maybe we should get into the stream wedding gig, because we're in Vegas. It's easy to marry people in Vegas. Stream weddings.
It's actually a pretty good idea.
Fucking A, we're gonna be streaming weddings, guys.
Guys, we might change our career after.
We'll be on a different category.
After this idea.
Weddings. Oh, that'd be kind of a fun category.
IRL.
Weddings in real life.
Yeah.
Aww.
People will just hit us up when they're getting married here in Vegas and have us show up with.
Just Google Voices in or Google Hangouts this in. Hold on. Maybe we should stop the stream because that's a good idea. Fuck. No, they have pop-up weddings too. Let me see. They probably have some here. I mean, it's the wedding industry is huge and overwhelming, and oh my gosh,
it's a good industry to get into for sure. People don't skimp on that stuff. It's like the pet industry. There's always going to be people getting married, and they don't they don't really balk at prices.
Oh, you know what? They have streaming weddings, actually. There's like view our video right here at the Chapel of Flowers. I can watch this random stranger's wedding right now.
Right now.
I think. I'm trying to. Oh, it already happened. Wait. I don't really know what's going on here. Oh, I can buy extra video. Oh, I have to submit a code. So I can't watch it unless I submit a code. Or I can do 8 hours of viewing for $25.
Oh, you can...
It's like 8 hours.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
Yeah. That is kind of weird, right? 8 hours of streaming. But there has to be a good way to do it, like where it's a very... I'm sure they can figure it out, though.
So Asa Wizard says, been thinking about that lately for the WSOP. They should be able to monetize things to add value to attorneys or the main. And the thing is, Ace, they do. They do monetize things. You know, they have a multi-million-dollar deal with ESPN for the video rights. They have plenty of sponsorship deals with things like Jack Link's beef jerky, Blue Diamond almonds, Planters peanuts. You look back in the day when they actually had online poker sponsors, and there was a lot of sponsorship money coming in to Caesars itself. There still is. And unfortunately, that's not really trickled down to the players that much. You don't really see a lot of change in Rake structure or a lot of sharing by Caesars with the players of that sponsorship money and advertising revenue they're able to actually get. So yeah. And Mason Jersey, I think you're asking about this, right? This WSOP hat. Where did I get it? So it's the WSOP.com hat. And it's actually, I don't know that they even sell them. We actually got them directly from their marketing department when we had lunch with a couple of their guys and girls. Actually, one of the bigwigs over there in WSP.com went to Mizzou, Mason. Her name's Danielle. So she hooks us up with like some swag every once in a while.
Oh, and then after a wedding, Dutch, after a streaming wedding, we can have a giant pizza party.
Yes.
At a strip club.
Strip club pizza's the best.
Oh, that'd be kind of fun, actually.
It's funny.
No,
So
I think all strip clubs only have chicken wings.
This doesn't really look good. I don't know. I think that maybe we can get through. Let's see if we can get through. I think if we get through You Check, I Check, we probably get through Poker Jed. So I feel like, this gets through maybe 45%, which is enough.
VR weddings, Dutch. 3D VR weddings.
I'm just imagining like a bride having a big like 3D camera rig on top of her head.
Aww.
So like you could see it from her point of view.
We have a friend. I mean, when we were doing the when you guys were doing the hackathon, that the guy basically just put GoPros and just like mounted them together. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
That's how
there's
did it.
there's ways to there's ways to capture a VR video, but it looks pretty bulky.
Oh yeah, and
Looks pretty bulky.
Pragmat has a good advice for us. If we do end up doing something like that, we have to make sure we have the IP rights for our wedding. Oh, I think it'll be fun.
It always irritates me when I see people like trying to sell photography services where you don't have the rights to the photos that they take. They're like, and then the package includes X amount of photos that you can print for free, and then additional photos for this much. It's like, oh wow, so you're gonna just you're keeping all the negatives, huh? There's no negatives anymore.
Or we can pre-record us in our outfits, right, and saying I do and everything and whatever, and then we can be in the audience and watch it and we'd stream. Be like, and then just like tape it. Be cool. We can edit it for a flattering view.
And Green Eye Munster, there was in fact beer sponsors. They did have Milwaukee's Best with, and then they had that Phil Hellmuth can of Milwaukee's Best.
What are you talking about? Sponsorship for what?
For the WSOP.
Are they going to have Milwaukee's Best? Again, do you know what they're going to have?
They're not. I don't know.
Oh.
But so it's definitely happened before. The problem with getting corporate sponsors is it always gets kicked up the chain, and then eventually someone in the boardroom says something like, "Oh yeah, but you know what? My brother-in-law has a real gambling problem, and it's really ruined his family, and I don't really feel comfortable putting all of our marketing dollars behind gambling. It's gambling.
Do you feel like
our customers are going to look at it and say that's a sin." What's that?
Do you think that's what happens?
I do, and I've actually talked to some people who actually try to make those sponsorship deals happen, and that's what they say, is that it always is like met with enthusiasm until it gets up to the point where they're actually getting ready to do it, and it's always like a board member who's like, no, we're not doing this. Pretty good flop for Jack 4. What do you think?
I think that's a great flop for Jack 4.
Pretty good flop for 2 pair.
Oh.
You know what I love about this flop is it's so wet.
You
No.
just called nicely, or you re-raise?
No, what we do here is, what I love about this flop is it's so wet that we can make a check raise here, and a lot of times have like king queen. So you check, I check could easily be calling very light here. There we go. Make the call. Wow, that's not what I am expecting to be up against.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. I mean, if he's got a set, he's almost, he's so much more likely to have tens than jacks, and we still have some outs. But usually, when he makes that move, he's looking at a hand like aces or kings or queens, and we're just in great shape, or ace-jack, and we're just in really good shape. Not today. Nice hand there, you check, I check.
That was good. That was a nice hand for him. That's very lucky. Unlucky for us. Very unlucky.
I gotta say though, I don't really love the shove there. No, we're not getting away from 2 pair, and that's why I don't like the shove. Is because he's gonna get called by a lot of hands like Jack 10 and Jack 4 and pocket 10s and pocket 4s, but he's going to lose a lot of hands that he would be able to get a lot of value from. Hands like King Queen, hands like Ace 10, hands like Queen Jack. If I have Queen Jack there, I'm probably letting it go. If I have Queen 10 there or King 10 there, I'm definitely letting it go. If I have hands like 8 9 or Queen 9 or King Queen, then I'm letting those hands go, and he's not getting any value out of this top set. So I don't love the huge shove because it only works when he's actually up against sets and 2 pairs. And against those hands, he doesn't really lose anything from giving free cards away, and he's going to get the value anyway in later streets. So I actually kind of hate the way he played it. But even if he plays it the way that I think he should have played it, we're still losing. Anyway, good for him. Pretty brutal. Could have been much, much worse. It could have happened in about 10 minutes when the rebuy and add-on period would be over. It would be out. the stream would be over.
But can you imagine, like, streaming our wedding or whatever, and then going to our family's house and be like, "She doesn't want to watch our wedding?" We going through Joy's and Rachel's and Ed's and inviting everybody. Y'all sit there and watch it. It's funny.
It just sounds like something I'd be so annoyed.
You would? You would be annoyed if you were like, "Oh, guy, by the way, guys, I have my wedding here.
Yeah.
My wedding right here. Do you guys want to watch?"
No, I can take a pass.
Dutch. You should never be rude when people want us, you know. I had that gambler song in my head. That was a good song, huh?
Yeah, I like it quite a bit.
Yeah. We'll have to try to get up early and do some B-roll. I would like that. But I think I'm going to stay up pretty late tonight and play some video games, though. I want to play some Don't Starve.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I kind of have a craving. I know that... Oh, we're leaving, guys. We are actually going out of town on Thursday. Till Monday? I gotta look at the calendar.
Yeah, I think we're coming back on the 1st. So we're going to be leaving this weekend to go out to Colorado, hang out with JD Cole and some of the Pikes Peak poker guys.
We could probably try to stream that night, but it'll be at 8, probably.
Yeah, probably not streaming that night. We're not going to have our equipment, no. No, we're not going to have any of our equipment.
What are you bringing? What do you mean? How are we not having our equipment?
I'm just having, like, my laptop. You know, so I'm not going to have my video capture card or any of that stuff.
What are you talking about? All you need is your computer.
I'm not bringing my computer. Why would I?
No, we're streaming when we get home.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we'll stream that night.
Are you selling our stuff?
No, the Colorado trip we planned around the stream. We're not planning on missing a stream. I thought you were saying streaming from Colorado.
No, I'm gonna bring my camera though. And I'm gonna get some B-roll.
B-reel.
B-reels. I'm gonna get some B-reel, and we're going to
B-reel, man.
We're gonna go to get stoned in every single shop that I can find.
Gosh, I hope that happens.
So Dutch is gonna be sober.
I hope that happens.
Dutch is gonna follow me around while I explore and smoke as much weed and eat as much pot as I can while in Colorado.
I'm gonna be so jealous. I'm gonna be so sad and
That's
so
a good
jealous.
idea, right? Like, I will get stoned and fucked up. You do the phone. Because I was thinking, is one of us, we both can't get fucked up. Because we will fuck up that camera. Right. We'll fucking drop that camera and lose it.
So, ahead of 8-9, ahead of 9-10, ahead of 8-10, and that's pretty much it. Those are the only hands we're actually ahead of. We could be up against 8-9 here. And if ULGG has 8-9, well, nice hand, nice bluff. Usually, I think we're just up against a weakish ace or a flush draw that actually got there on the river. I'd be a lot more likely to make the call on the river there if it was like a 4 of clubs instead of a 4 of spades. And I would also be a lot more likely to make the call if we were up against a video instead of ULGG. Keep in mind he had to make the call with another guy behind him who could make the overcall. So it's generally a little stronger of a hand. Definitely a stronger range. And by the way, Guam Boy saying, is there mid-stakes limit hold'em action in Vegas? So during the WSOP, Guam Boy, if you're going to be in town and you're going to be looking for games between the end of May and the middle of July, you're going to have a lot more selection. I would definitely suggest installing the Bravo Poker app on your phone, and you can do a lot of filtering and see what kind of limit hold'em games are out, out and about. Generally, though, the only place that you're going to be able to see limit hold'em is going to be over at the Bellagio. When the WSOP is not in session and when there's not a lot of action in town. Mainly, you're only going to see limit hold'em at the Bellagio, and you're going to see maybe a 10-20 limit game, maybe usually a 20-40 limit game that goes pretty consistently, and sometimes a 40-80 limit game. That's pretty much going to be the go-to place for limit hold'em. Limit hold'em really is just a dying game at this point. Everyone has kind of switched over to no limit hold'em, and I actually think from a player's point of view, no limit hold'em is a much better game to play It's much easier to control your stack. It has lower variance. It's I know it doesn't feel that way, but I promise you it does have lower variance. If you were going to look at how many hands you would have to play to really actually get to your expectation. The swings it can be pretty brutal, but in Limit Hold'em you just have so much less control over your stack. You actually are kind of a slave to showdowns in Limit Hold'em. It's very similar to something like Stud High. I would put Limit Hold'em as a higher variance game, less variance than Stud High, but more variance than Stud High Low, more variance than Omaha High Low, and more variance than No Limit Hold'em. Less variance than PLO, but No Limit Hold'em is definitely the game that has attracted the fish. You don't really have a lot of people who are completely new to poker, who saw it on TV, who come in and get sat at a 20-40 Limit Hold'em game. Usually when you're playing against, when you're actually sitting in a 10-20 or a 20-40 or a 40-80, I've played all the way up to 100-200 limit. Usually you're going to be playing against pretty seasoned players. The worst players in those lineups are usually the ones who have, who are older and come from a Limit Hold'em background. So they got into poker in the 90s. And early 2000s, and they definitely know their way around the felt. Or you're going to be up against players who have grinded their way up, through the No Limit Hold'em ranks, and now are just kind of dipping their toes in because it's generally a good EV game if you can beat it. But anyway, that's your best bet. Bellagio for most of the year. Sometimes though during the WSOP you're going to be able to find those games at the Rio and other places. Check out the Bravo Poker app, and if you don't want to download it on your phone, you can just go to the website Bravo Poker Live, log in with your Facebook, put in the city, and you can actually filter by game type. So hopefully that helps you, man. King Jack offsuit. Can we expect a bet by Richard Parker? I don't think we can. And I think that we can just go ahead and bet 1608 here. We'll go for 3/4 pot. Sometimes maybe one of these guys has like Queen Jack or Jack 10. Sometimes they're going to have a flush draw that they push. And yeah, we're not going anywhere. The Queen of Hearts is a pretty brutal card for us. Hearts got there. Queen Jack got there, but we're probably up against Jack 10. And sure enough, Jack 10 offsuit. I kind of felt like if we checked the turn, J-Jack was going to go ahead and fire into us, but he decided to give the free card just in case we did have the flush draw.
Are you going to put a schedule up for the WSOP, Dutch?
Yes.
Soon?
Yeah, pretty soon. And I also have a few events I'm going to be selling action in. The first event that I'm going to be selling action in is the 5K 30-minute blind levels event on the 23rd, June 23rd. And I'm going to be listing that on Tasty Stakes. If you're a subscriber, I'm going to email you guys first and give you first dibs at taking pieces of it. So expect that email in the next day or two, and then I'm going to go ahead and wait 24 hours. Any of the subs who want the pieces can take it, and then I'll start advertising it on Twitter and Facebook. So yeah, I do have my schedule finalized at this point, and I also have a few events that I'm going to be selling action into, including the 5K 30-minute blind levels on the 23rd, the 3K and the 1K online events, the 5K 6 max, the 10K 6 max, and the 50K Players Championship. Probably won't be able to sell that one out.
Which one?
But maybe. I feel pretty comfortable in those mixed games. What do you think I'd be more likely to sell out, Michelle? Action in the 1-drop or action in the Players Championship 50K event? It's a 100K event, no limit hold'em, or a 50K event, 8-game mixed. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that the lower events, the 5Ks and the 3K and the 1K, will sell out quickly. So if you're a sub, you're going to get the heads up, and you guys can take a few shots with me this summer if you want. Otherwise, if you don't sub to the channel, then make sure to follow on Twitch, or make sure to follow on Twitter, because that's where I'm going to be advertising the events once the subs get first dibs at them. You guys are awesome. We're going to be right back after this rebuy period break is over. We're getting the ad on now. Coming back with 17,000 ships, which is a lot. Looking forward to it. You guys are awesome. We'll be right back.
No.
Okay, yes, we're back.
I'm not ready.
Twitch waits for nobody.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
So,
are we back?
Yeah, we're back. Green Eye Monster asks, I've been having a hard time with split games. He says, Omaha, hello, and I've completely given up on Raz.
Oh, Raz is so fun.
I know this isn't the best attitude to have. Did you learn those games just as another game to earn money at? Or did you want to? Get what I'm asking?
So I think in Raz you didn't know it very well when you got second to TJ.
That was the first time I played Raz.
And you just
That's
have to remember
true.
the basic rules, right?
The thing is,
Ace.
it's a little disingenuous to say, oh, well, that's the first time I played Raz, so I was completely clueless at it.
Well, no, there's still base.
The truth is, Green Eye Monster, when I got second in the WSOP against TJ Cloutier in the Raz event in 2004, even though I was very new to Raz, I was no stranger to Stud High, and I had put in a lot of hands of Stud High Low. Now, Stud 8, Stud High Low is a very similar game to Raz. And if you understand Stud tournaments and you understand Stud 8 tournaments and you understand both of those in cash game settings, then adapting into Raz is a piece of cake. You know, Raz is like a dumbed down version. Raz is kind of like if Stud High Low and Stud had a baby that was just a little bit slow. That's kind of what Raz is. So... You know, when I was like, oh, well, I've never really played Raz before this second, it was a little bit of, I mean, it was true, but it doesn't really mean much. I was pretty familiar with the Stud variants, and if you play Stud 8, then Raz comes pretty naturally. And why did I learn those games? How did I learn those games? So as a prop, when I first started playing as a prop player up in San Jose and Garden City, you just had to know all the games because you never knew where they were going to sit you. You know, sometimes they would sit you at a 4-8 or a 6-12 Stud 8 game. Sometimes they would sit you at Omaha High Low. Sometimes they would sit you at low ball, limit low ball, and you just be like, okay, here we go. And I read every book I could get my hands on back in the day when it came to those game variants. If you're just starting out, Super System has chapters on Stud, has chapters on low ball. I don't know if Super System actually has Omaha High Low. Let me see really quick. Let me check my first edition, first print version of Super System here. And by the way, we're going to go ahead and make this 1500. 2.5x B-Bogs open. Ace Queen offsuit's a monster. So they have Stud, they have 5-card draw, they have low ball, they have high-low split Stud 8, and they have limit hold'ems. They don't actually have 08 in the original Super System. I think that they have it in Super System 2. Let me take a look here. Yes, they have a Stud 8 and an 08 section in Super System 2. I don't think they have Raz. I think there's a book out there specifically about Raz that I could probably recommend, and I'd also recommend Ken Lowe's book on all of those games. What do you guys think about maybe just checking back? I don't really think that we're losing too much by giving a free card to J-Chack and B-Bogs on that flop. And if we check back, then it starts looking like maybe we have a pocket pair like kings or queens or tens or nines. And if one of these guys has a weaker ace, then we're able to extract more value out of them. So the Jack of Hearts comes out, and now hands like King Queen, King Jack, Queen Jack are probably going to give us some value. Let's go ahead and go for 2,000. We'll see if we can't suck out just a little bit of value from these guys. Lose J-Chack. And we lose B-Bogs. So that's all right. Ooh, Jay Rigoni. That's a tough one.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I would say if at all possible, try to get off of work for that day. You know, it'd be great if you could, like, get off of work for that day and then don't tell her that you're going to be off and then surprise her with something. Because even though, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, you know, I've met your wife. She seems like an awfully cool, awfully chill person, and I know that you guys make a great team. But in my experience, I've found that a lot of times women will say that something doesn't bother them, and then it will, and they'll punish you for it.
No, they won't.
Like in my experience, it's been like, you know, no, it's okay if you work on my 40th birthday, no problem. And you're like, okay, great, thanks, baby. Thanks, honey. I'm glad that you can be so understanding. No, I wouldn't dream of you taking time off work for my birthday. You know, it's just another day. And maybe she even believes it when she's saying it, but I guarantee you it's gonna be a couple of moments in that, you know, at that night when
it's my birthday.
She's a little exactly. I don't know. So I would suggest just do whatever you can to get the day off.
If you can't get the day off, maybe you should send like a massage. What kind of cool things that you can send to somebody as a cool surprise?
Singing telegram?
No, a singing telegram. Like a magician?
Yeah. Magician?
I don't really know. I'm gonna have to think about it. It's kind of a tough one. Well, I mean, I'm glad he asked because it is a tough question. Like, that's a tough situation.
We got Melonhead subbing 20 months in a row. You're awesome. Melonhead, thanks so much for keeping the channel going. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, Dutch, you should play a cash game one night against me. My pennies against your nickels.
So, by the way, Mason Jersey asking, when did they move the WSOP to the Rio? And that happened in 2005. So in 2005, all the prelim events were played at Binion's, but the main event final table played out at the Rio. And then the next year in 2006, it moved completely to the Rio. Actually, you know what? I think the main event itself might have also played at the Rio. I think that might have even happened. But I'm pretty sure that that Fossil Man, when Greg Raymer won the main event in 2004, that final table was still at Binion's. I know that the 2004 prelims were at Binion's, and I'm pretty sure the 2005 prelims were also at Binion's. But the 2005 main event might have been completely at the Rio. It's been so long. Let's go make the fold here with ace-9 off.
It's been so long. Yeah, it has. I guess they used to have... Where did they have it outside that one year? Didn't they have, like, one of the events outside and it was horrible?
They did that 2 years.
2 years?
Was that at Binion's? They would have the tables outside of Binion's during the main event in 2004 and 2003. But then they also had outside tables at the Rio where they set up this big tent.
Oh my God!
Outside in the parking lot, and I remember one time Doyle was playing in there, and it actually blew over. The tent actually blew over while the players were inside.
Oh my gosh!
What a disaster!
Did anyone get hurt?
That's how we lost Doyle.
Oh.
Yeah. No one got hurt. No one got hurt. And Doyle's fine. Let's go ahead and make the call here. 6-1 with Jack-8 suited. Looks pretty good. Closing the action. Pretty good flop for Jack-8 suited. And once again, I kind of like the check raise here. Maybe if B-Bogs checks, we'll go ahead and fire out on the turn, but maybe we don't check raise B-Bogs. You know, I'd be a lot more likely to check raise if Richard Parker fired out and B-Bogs called. And I also might think about just check calling against Richard Parker because, you know, maybe that looks a little bit more like a draw. So the King of Hearts hits. And I think we go ahead and go for a check raise right here against B-Bogs. Actually, maybe not. Maybe we just check call and lead out river. I don't know.
I'm reading the chat's recommendations.
It's big enough. Let's just go for a check raise here.
Boom, boom. Good luck.
Man, he made that shove pretty quick. Now I'm starting to question whether Jack 8 is the best hand.
Jack 8?
Yeah.
What do you think he has then?
Well, I mean, the two hands that we should be most worried about here are pocket sixes and King Jack.
Okay.
And both of those hands are pretty consistent with the way that he bet this. But I mean, shoot, two pairs is kind of a monster hand. I think there's just going to be so often where we're good here. I mean, he could be.
Have you played B-Bogs before?
No, I haven't.
Shit, I don't know what to do.
I don't know
running out of
either.
time though.
Okay, we're going to make the call. Hopefully we're good. Hold your breath. Fuck. Well, we were not good, but
Sucked
we
the
caught
fuck
up.
Out.
We sucked out. So
Sucked the fuck out. Well, I don't blame you for calling there, and it was just he LOL'd. Poor guy. I don't know if he LOL'd after or before.
he was.
No, that's
it was after
for him, dude, for sure.
Yeah,
and
it does.
You
It
know
sucks
what?
for him.
You were right, though. I think that was a good note on you. You were right about the way he was betting. That's good. I mean, you got some information there.
But I don't know. I haven't played with him enough to really know whether, like whether he would think Ace King or King Queen was really good there. You know, King Queen with of clubs, for example. Mm-hmm. You know, King 10 of clubs, for example. I could see him loving that hand there.
Wow.
And just making the shove. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It felt like we were fine. Let's
I
just
held
sit
my
back
breath,
here.
though. I did. That time I feel like I brought you luck, so.
You did.
I do have use on this stream.
I mean, worst case scenario is we're going to have some outs. You know, we had 4 outs.
I can't, it's really neat that you can count your outs while you're holding your breath. I can't do anything but just hope.
Yeah, so we got pretty
it's like all
lucky
fucking
there.
random in my head. I'm like, it's random. whatever.
I was pretty lucky.
I don't hope. Just hold my breath and not think of anything. Do you think Joel Brunson's going to play this year, or do you think he's done?
I think he's done.
Yeah.
I don't expect that we'll see Doyle Brunson at the WSOP anymore.
Well, he doesn't have to. I mean, he's done his time.
I think that if your best chance at a Doyle signing is probably to hang around Bobby's room during the summer.
He still plays though.
I imagine he'll still be playing some of the big cash games there, like the 1K, 2K, or they might even get it up all the way to 4K, 8K, and I imagine that he'll be playing. But for the most part, I think that he's probably going to be skipping all the events and maybe playing, 6 or 7 days of cash. And the Brunson legacy is going to have to be carried on by his son Todd. who I'm sure will be playing a lot of events and making a lot of final tables because
he's a fantastic player.
He's a fantastic player, and he focuses on all the 10K mixed games. So those events have very short fields, and he's always going to be a favorite in the field. And usually in those events, if you money, you're also final tabling. So I expect to see a lot of Todd Brunson in all the mixed game final tables during the streams. I'm not playing any mixed games this summer, you guys, unless that 50K sells out. That's the only one that I might be playing, and that's kind of the last on my list to sell.
50K is how much you want? Is the
Players
buy-in?
Championship, yeah, the 50K Players Championship. It's 50K buy-in.
That's wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
I've played it twice. Both times made day 2, but haven't cashed. But I feel like I know the mixed games pretty well. But the money's in no limit hold'em, so that's really what I'm focusing on.
Training then for that, dude.
Well, if it sells out,
Do you think I should
I'll
be
start
training
focusing on some of those mixed games.
Tournaments. I think after our Colorado trip, I'll be deciding whether I'm playing or not.
Chances are I won't sell out. Chances are I'll just be sticking with the predominant no limit hold'em, tournament schedule that I put together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a crazy hand, that freaking jack hand.
Yeah. But it also was, a pretty good cooler. We're flopping top 2 against bottom set. It's just like
happened how you got knocked out the other hand.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't really feel like folding in those situations.
Well, it's going to be very nitty. Everybody in the chat's going to be like, "What the fuck?" I would have been like, "What
it's
the
like,
fuck, man?"
am I really going to worry that much about the 3 hands that that beat me? I guess there's 5 hands that beat me. We've got a set of one combo of jacks, 1 combo of 8s, and then 3 combos of 6s. Am I really that worried about 5 hands? When you put those in like one column, and then on this column, everything else.
Yeah, but
every 9-10 of clubs, every king 9 of clubs, and king 10 of clubs, and every club draw, every hand that might have a king, every semi bluff that he was making that might have hit a king on the turn.
But in the situation like that,
hands
though,
like 8-6.
I mean, in the situation like that, when it's like you don't know what that person is in the board the way it is, and you have two pair.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what's the likelihood of them beating you though? What's the you're gonna win? Like, what's the percentage of you winning those?
Well,
showdown?
it's kind of hard to come up with a percentage because in order to do that, what you have to come up with is you have to give them a range, right? You have to say, I think that he either has, and then you start, I think that he has one of these hands, and you start putting them all in there. And if you think that the chances of him having, king 10 of clubs is the same as him having, a 6 of hearts and 6 of diamonds, if you think that those 2 hands are equally as likely, then it's a little bit easier. But the chances that he has one hand over the other starts really changing based on how based on the line he took and how he reacted, how the action went. So it's a really tough problem to actually approach. But I will tell you, it's just such a disaster, Michelle, when you make the fold there.
If you know that he has, he has trips.
If I know he has trips,
and you have 2,
then the chances of me winning
1 card coming. What
8%.
are the chances? How much is it?
8%.
It's fucking 8%, huh?
Yeah, I've got
is
about
it worth
8%.
it? Is it
No.
worth it?
No, if he's got pocket,
Yeah,
if I know he's got pocket 6s, I make the fold. So
if you know that if he has 3 of a kind, no matter what, 10s or pocket
just
10s,
done.
and you just be done.
Yeah.
You don't want to gamble there.
Well, it's just not a good gamble.
But in the bigger picture of gambling, though, what's the likelihood if you hit it? Just 8%, I guess.
8%, yeah.
But how are you going to hit the 8% if you never fucking call?
We're getting about 3.5. We're getting I think over 3.5, like over 3 to 1, so like 3.5 to 1 to make the call, which means that we have to be about 24%, 25% to actually make the call correct, just in a vacuum. And I actually prefer to up those percentages just because there is some value in survival, some value in keeping a stack. So generally, if you're getting exactly 2 to 1 on a call, but if you are 33% exactly to win the hand, so the call is correct, But if you make the call and lose that hand, you're going to be out of the tournament entirely. So you're going to miss out on any future opportunities that might have better EV.
So do you feel? But do you feel like you're saying your scenario would definitely change if you had more chips than him, than the person?
Yeah, I actually did have him covered by about 2 blinds.
Looked like you did have him covered a little bit.
Not very much, but by 2 blinds. I'm going to make the fold here, by the way, you guys. Jack 3 offsuit just doesn't really have a lot of places to go. And Mason Jersey talking about Scotty. Didn't Scotty get really drunk to the final table of one of the 50? Yeah.
Scotty win?
Scotty win, yeah. He got so drunk and then someone made a crack and he spit beer all over the table. He's like...
Did he laugh so hard? Yeah. Oh, well, that's okay.
Showered Corona over everything.
So is hashtagging the new...
I think Brian Rast actually won that event twice.
Really?
Pretty impressive. But the event also has a very low turnout. You know, you're only playing against
it's
like...
mixed and it's 50 people playing. I
mean,
it's 50.
Usually it's about 100. You know, usually you got about 100 people.
It was $50,000 buy-in.
Yeah.
Shit. I mean, if you get that, I mean, it's gonna be awesome. You played it twice?
Yeah.
What years?
Actually, you know what? I think I might have only played... No, I feel like I've played that twice. I'm pretty sure I've played that 2 times.
Was it after you won your first bracelet and you were like, I got money. I'm going to waste it on this fucking... I'm going to take a shot. Was it then?
But maybe I only played it once. I mean, I remember making it to day 2.
Woot, woot. EDM 272 renewed with Twitch Prime. Thank you.
I might have only played it one time. I think maybe I'm getting the 25Ks confused.
And Frost.
Yeah, Ed M, thank you very much for renewing that sub.
Yeah, I don't remember you ever playing a 50K, dude.
Not since we've been together.
Fucking a lot of money.
Yeah, we haven't played it since we've been.
Because I'm a cheap ass, and if he's playing that shit, I'm gonna be.
But I played it in 2006 after my first bracelet, and I think that I might have played it in like 2007. But I can't remember. I might be confusing the 25Ks because
yeah,
I played that.
25K sounds like.
I've played that 25K at least twice, and I think maybe 3 times. Let's go for a raise here with Ace 9 off. Going for the 3x plus the call from a video. Try to just take this down right here, right now. If J-Jack makes a shove, we'll make the call. But hopefully, all we're really trying to do here is get through cash plays. If we get through cash plays, we'll probably get through a video as well. We don't get through cash plays, so instead he makes the spew.
$50,000 seems like a lot to raise, Dutch.
Yeah,
you should get a GoFundMe.
You know what else is a lot? Is 50 blinds. 50 blinds is a lot to 4-bet shove. Blinds? No, that's what cash plays just put in the middle.
What do you have here?
So he made it 2x. A video makes the call. I make it 4x, so about 8 bigs, and he's like 50 blinds. Okay, that'll do. Cash plays, nice hand.
How did you end up finishing the Sunday 250K, Dutch?
I believe it was 32nd.
32nd. Yeah, still okay. I mean, you cash. So it was like a min cash, right?
That's right.
Maybe I should start playing little tournaments at the Orleans, Dutch. We'll see how this league goes, because if I hate it, then if I feel like I'm too put out. Did they move you? Shit. They sure did. Gosh, I'm getting excited, Dutch. The WSOP is literally right around the corner, like a month away. Oh my god. I got little butterflies. I got butterflies, Dutch.
Yeah?
Coming in, yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's right around the corner. I mean, we're talking like a month.
I think I'm gonna win.
We're talking like 5 weeks away. I can't wait.
What? We gotta work out. We gotta pump it up. Dutch, are you gonna start Are you gonna start powerlifting?
I'm gonna focus mainly on just losing weight. So still focusing mainly on cardio.
You're not gonna pump, huh?
Look at this. Now we have even more outs here. Any deuce, any six, and we might be able to just get through right here. Ugh. I mean, are we just giving up with 7-4? No. I'll try it. Nice hand there, Snowball.
Busted.
I wonder if he makes the call there with just the pair of fives.
We get a flush. Oh, if the flush doesn't hit?
Yeah, if his flush doesn't hit, I wonder if he makes the call. And maybe I should just give up there. I mean, Snowball did check pretty quick. It definitely felt like he was ready to just check to induce the...
Bluff?
It felt like he was inducing a bluff. But I'm also looking at my 7 high and thinking, do I really feel like just giving this up? I mean, if he has something like Queen 10 of hearts, or like King 9 of hearts here, or like 6-7, so often we're going to just be like checking back and he's going to take it with like, Queen high, and I'm going to be thinking, man, I just screwed the pooch on that one. I don't know. I think that if you're kind of going back and forth, err on the side of aggression. But he checked awfully quick. I think like with super weak hands, he's got to at least think about making a bluff. And so he probably has a hand that has some showdown value when he makes a quick check like that. And Mason Jersey, I did play the Epic Poker League. I did. I was actually one of the top 27 players in that league that was owed the $1 million free roll. About 40-something thousand in equity, just pretty much taken from my pocket when that league shut down and left the other, me and the other 26 players who had qualified for this $1 million free roll by playing in the toughest event I've ever played in. I final tabled it. And it was not easy, guys. I mean, I had to make some insane calls. I had to make some insanely thin value bets. I had to make some really tough laydowns against the best in the world. I knocked out Tom Dwan in that event. When you're looking around and the weakest player at your table is Tom Dwan, I mean, that's a tough tournament. I had to make a king-high call against Alec Torelli.
Do you think he was the weakest, or were you, babe?
Well, I knocked him out, so...
I'm just teasing, babe.
But,
I'm just teasing.
No, it was not. It was the toughest tournament I've ever played. Toughest I've ever played. But I did make the final table in it. And then got it all in against Eric Seidel on a 5-5-4 board with pocket jacks. and Seidel had aces, and that was all she wrote. I could have folded those jacks. I could have folded them. You know, when I fired out a check, he fired out a bet, and I made a check raise, and he shoved all in. I think that I probably should have put him on reading me for exactly what I had. You know, that's why I think I probably could have made that fold. I think against most players, I just have to be like, look, you know, he's going to be making that move with a lot of hands. He's got me out chipped, so maybe he's just trying to put the pressure on me with overcards. You know, he's probably, you know, thinking that 9s or 10s or 8s are good here. But looking back on it, what I probably should have done was think, he's so good that he sees right through me. And he also, you know, so my first instinct is to call, and he knows that I'm going to call. Maybe what I should do is do the opposite of what I want to do. You know, and just trust that he knows me better than I know myself. It's a tough one. But I ended up getting 8th in that event.
It was painful.
Oh, it was so painful. I mean, it's the difference between 55,000 and a million.
All you guys can remember your hands and shit. Like,
well, you don't remember all of them, but there are a few hands that are career defining.
Really? I guess if you win, you remember your winning hand.
That was a career defining loss.
And like,
because if I had made that fold, it would have been one of the best folds, and it would have catapulted me to, you know, somewhere, probably 3rd or 4th or 2nd. You know, I would have had a chance to even win the whole thing. And, you know, the difference between 55,000 and, you know, basically I'm in cash, and, you know, 2nd place, which would have been like 600,000. First was $1 million. I mean, it was a big jump. Those final table, you know, career defining moments. You tend to remember those.
You don't write them in a diary?
They just won't come up. You know, they very, very rarely come up. You might have one of those a year as a pro, and if you're not a pro, you might have one of those like a single time in your life.
Do you feel like you should be writing it in a diary, though?
No, it's a memory that I would rather forget.
Dear diary, today was a really crappy day.
I'll write down my pleasant memories.
Well, this year, don't you have a tape recorder? Aren't you going to start? Are you going to start like recording how things go down?
I am, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Look at this
guy. We have a lot of ideas.
Look at his hair. He's got funny hair. Little H1 zoom pocket recorder with a windshield. And if you put it upside down, it's a bush.
And
little blue Einstein.
I like
he's
that
going
better.
He's going to be joining me during the WSOP.
I was thinking of more of Don King, but Einstein's much better.
Ah, yeah.
Einstein's a little bit crazier, isn't it, though? Like, spread out.
It's not hair. It's a windshield.
It's Stitch's little toy. You should put makeup on it and put a little dress on it, you know.
So I'll be talking into that. What do you think? Maybe just check call here with the 4? We could check raise, but check calling's fine as well.
Yeah, and it'll be. Can we shoot outside of the WSOP? We can, right?
Yeah.
You just can't shoot inside.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, I'm gonna release. We're gonna make the fold here. You know, maybe MJ Perry is just going for that second barrel bluff, but I don't know. I think that he slows down on that turn if he can't beat a pair of 4s.
Yeah, Seidel is a beast.
Well, Seidel is definitely
underrated.
I mean, yeah, he is. He's. I think that probably. When the game is over, Seidel will probably be remembered as the greatest of all time. Interesting. Seeing some blood. Power KC coming over the top of Scooby Dooby's 3X. Nice hand there, MJ Perry. And Mason Jercier, Chino did win one of those, and I'm pretty sure Seidel won the one that I was at. Mike McDonald, I think, won the third one, and then they didn't have the fourth one. Let's just make the call here with Queen 10 of clubs. We could make a 3x, but let's just do a call. We'll play in position with a pretty decent hand. I wonder if Dagabetes decides this is the spot. This is the spot I need to make a shove with. So not the best flop for Queen 10 of clubs. We've got some outs. We've got some backdoor outs. Let's just make the check here. How did that guy get a timeout?
Oh, he was just... I just timed him out because I think he said something twice in the chat about hashtag king.
Oh, something kind of negative.
Yeah, and so, I mean, whatever. It was kind of, I forgot to untime.
We try to keep it pretty positive in the stream.
I just banned him for, like, I did the auto ban, or I did the ban, and I forgot he was banned. He was, like, in the corner, and I forgot.
Trying to keep it pretty positive. You think I came off too negative talking about it? No. Maybe a little bit. And Almaft 12 asking how do we do in that 600 win. So we made it with one bullet, ended up getting 32nd. Not quite where we wanted to be.
But it's good that you only used one bullet, I suppose.
Yeah.
Come here, let me put this on you. Come here, let me put this dress on you, June. The only way I can get June to stop bothering me is to threaten her with this dress. It's mini technique, Dutch.
It's pretty wet board, but I'm just not ready to just give up. Just not ready to say 4,500. You know what, Scooby Dooby? You can have that. You can just have that. I'm not ready to say that. So I definitely feel like no tilt here that getting moved from a tournament table is one of the worst things that can happen. You know, it's anytime you're looking around for the weak link, basically what you're trying to do is find out, you know, absent who plays the worst. I mean, some people will just have obvious leakage in their game. Obvious, like, this guy plays too many hands. This guy doesn't, you know, never defends a blind. You know, this guy is just not paying attention. This guy is giving a lot of pre-flop tells. You're going to have some tables that you sit down at where you can spot the sucker right away. But absent any of that, what you kind of default on is who has the least information about their opponents, and that's going to be the spot that you kind of pick on. Who has the weakest information base to draw on, and then you're also going to be defaulting to chip stacks. So when you get moved to a table, all of a sudden, you pretty much start that table with a big target on your back, on your forehead. Basically, you're the new guy. You don't know anything about anybody. The only thing that you do know is that there was someone right here. Whoever was at your seat got busted out because of the dynamic at the table and because of where he was sitting and whatever. This is also one thing that I feel like pros have an advantage over amateurs when it comes to playing tournaments, because usually when I get moved to a table and I sit down and I look around the table, usually I'll know one or two of the players. It's pretty hard for me to sit down at a table where I don't know anybody. And at the WSOP, I'm pretty much always going to be sat down at a table where people know me. So it's going to be, I'm not going to have the same kind of struggle that you're going to have where, when I get moved to a table, no one is, it's going to be pretty rare that the whole table is looking at me thinking, "Oh, good, fresh meat." So that's just kind of one of the advantages of being a regular and being a pro and having a long history with a lot of players who are in similar positions. But I completely agree with you that one of the worst things that can happen EV-wise in a tournament is getting moved to a new table.
Yeah, because you've collected information on these guys. Yeah. You are getting used to how they're playing, and then if they move you, all that information is bleh. That's happened to you a few times, huh? All the time.
Okay, making the fold here with the 8-10 off. Jeez.
Gina's so scared of this dress. Come here, Gina.
So 34 big blinds in front of us, pocket fours. I kind of like seeing a flop here. The only question is, do we raise or do we call?
Well, knowing you, you'd probably raise.
Yeah.
I would call.
Well, Frisky Dingo making the open limp. I kind of like attacking those open limpers. I do.
Yeah, but limping is also making it cheap for you to get set mine, dude.
Or it's setting up a squeeze from behind.
See, now you got to fold, yo.
Probably, yeah.
See, so you wasted money, in my opinion. Unless they check.
It's very results-oriented thinking there, honey.
Yeah, but most, isn't it results-oriented thinking when you're trying to get a, I guess, oh wow, I'm just tilting you to just go crazy here.
Well, not really. I mean, Frisky Dingo firing out 600 is
He
what's
limp, so he
inducing
probably
this
has like ace rag, dude, or ace something.
He might, he might have a raggedy ace, and
I
we might be like
Dutch.
just
I was
running
wrong.
into a wall.
That was a very good play on your part. See,
No. Here's the thing, Michelle. You're not wrong. You're following it results oriented. It worked out.
I'm not following it results oriented. The way that I would do it is I would have, because I'm call folding. That's me though. I don't think I'd be brave enough to.
You're calling the limp.
Yeah.
And you're folding for the 600.
Check fold.
I mean, like when he fires 600
check
into.
Fold, dude.
Well, we didn't have to check. He fired out 600 into the pot, which was the min bet.
Oh, he just fired. Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Then they fold. I fold. I mean, that's me though. I mean, that's why you're the champion and I am not. Yeah, I fold there because I was like, oh, well, it didn't hit it, guys. Sorry, I play honest poker. You know how you play werewolf when you try not to claim rolls, Dutch? Well, when I play poker, I play honest. If I didn't hit it, I fold. Well, you got 6,000 from that in hand. So what's your thought process going on here now?
The thought process is King 8 suited is a decent enough hand to go ahead and try to steal a blind with.
But not to shove with.
Not to call. Dogabiti's shoving for 22 bigs. Seems a little hefty of a shove in my opinion. Anyway. We're not calling it. It's too much. And Mason Jersey A asking, do you guys think Jesus and Howard will play again this year? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would bet on it.
I mean, it's the best series to play. They probably, right?
So they love poker. And I'll tell you, the only thing that they're ever going to be able to do to repair their reputation is to win. That's the only thing. You look at Phil Ivey and you look at Phil Hellmuth, and these guys have pretty much
paved the way for you to play.
These guys have pretty much made it through their respective controversies unscathed. Because people always rally around a winner. The only thing that Chris Ferguson is ever going to be able to do to get to the point where he can show up in a poker room without people, basically calling him out because of the full tilt fallout, is to just keep on crushing it and keep on proving that he is one of the most elite players in the world.
Yeah, look at Phil Ivey. He was part of that whole.
He was, and he got. I don't really feel like he got too much shade.
He didn't get any shade.
And you look at Phil Hellmuth.
I mean, shit.
Who was one of the top guys, involved with UB.
Yeah. And UB was kind of a worse situation because they were hole carding.
Yeah.
And they were actually cheating the players.
And he continued to endorse them even after that was revealed. It was pretty bad.
And with the whole the whole poker, the full tilt thing, I mean, they were naive, but I feel like they get a lot more shit than they should, honestly.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't think they saw it coming, and I don't think they would. I mean, they definitely do things differently if they had a chance to do it again, but
of course, and
it's not like they weren't like hole carding people. They weren't like taking people's money.
No, they weren't, and they also had a big money cow. I mean, there's no reason for them to have killed that cow. Yeah. I mean, they were making a lot of money off of that rake. They were all going to be set. They were all going to be billionaires. Billions. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, when Full Tilt went down, that was a sad day in poker. But I guarantee you that nobody was sadder than Chris Ferguson.
Oh yeah.
Where all of a sudden,
And all the red pros were probably really fucking sad. I mean, come on.
they were devastated. Every single one of them.
It wasn't like an intentional thing, but I feel like they get so much shit, and everybody wants them to die. Everybody.
Yeah,
wants
it's like
them to
go
rot.
into your hole,
Like,
Chris.
Jesus, I mean,
Get out of here, Howard.
Though it was a bad thing that they did. They opened up poker to the masses.
Yeah.
I mean, they actually created the boom. Their help was
Yes,
a part of creating that boom to make poker, popular or in mainstream. It sucks. It's like when Dutch had his situation and he had merging poker tournaments. His brother and him, they created the first multi-table tournament merged tables, software. But people always like to remember the bad shit.
Well, a lot of mistakes were made with PokerSpot, just like a lot of mistakes were made with Full Tilt. One of the biggest distinctions between Full Tilt and PokerSpot, and from where I'm kind of looking at it, is Full Tilt was run by the most elite poker players, and they had a lot of success with it, where they should have been able to avoid the pitfalls. And they all made a lot of money off of it too. I mean, let's not forget.
Yeah, that is right. They get a settlement, or
when Howard Lederer, after the Full Tilt fallout, it's not like he walked away with nothing.
True.
He was next seen playing the high stakes 250,
now,
500, 200, 400.
Why did they end up with money after?
Because they all made a lot of money from it. They were all in like the $20 to $40 million range that they were able to pull out from that company before it fell apart. And they didn't just have to give all of that back. Whereas with PokerSpot, it was run by a couple of teenage kids, and we didn't get anything from it.
Well, yeah, I guess in that situation, going back to that whole scenario, it's been a while. Didn't they give payments to people and shit?
And this is one of the worst things from the whole Full Tilt thing.
Somebody got paid twice,
after Eric Lindgren. After Black Friday, they were still wiring money out.
Oh, okay.
And that was a big fuck up. And after Black Friday, they were taking European action and taking European deposits, knowing that they didn't have enough money to match it. And that was a big fuck up as well. There were a lot of screw ups that Full Tilt had, but that's not Chris Ferguson's fault.
Whose fault would you say it was? Then?
I mean, ultimately, it's Chris Ferguson's fault and Howard Lederer's fault, because they're the ones who put it together, and they're the ones who are
their company.
They're the ones who can fire Ray Bitar. They're the ones who can actually fire the CEO and make sure that and they have a responsibility to make sure everything is.
Who was the CEO?
Ray Bitar.
Ray Bitar. Oh, okay.
So I mean, I guess ultimately it is Chris Ferguson's fault, and ultimately it is Howard Lederer's fault. But it's not like they're the ones who were making the day-to-day decisions that led to the complete failure and implosion of Full Tilt.
Well, it's definitely a complex situation.
Yeah, it is.
But I think, like I said, if they had a choice to do it all over again, I'm sure things would have been different.
Yeah. I don't know what they would like if they had a choice to do it all over again. I wonder if they would, because they made a lot of money off of it.
Oh, I think they would do it again.
And even though they took a huge reputation hit, I mean, at some point your reputation does have a price tag, and maybe that price tag is $40 million.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know. But
and they'll be getting shade and shit
forever.
Forever.
It's never going to be so. Now it's part of their brand. Yeah. But what else is? What else is part of their brand?
Them.
What else is part of their brand? Well, not so much Howard, but Chris, as being an elite poker player first. I mean, the reason that he was in a position to start Full Tilt was because he is one of the baddest ass poker players in the history of the game. 6 bracelets, he's amazing. Yeah, and having played with him and many times over, I can tell you that he is one tough nut to crack. And I have no doubt that both of them will be playing the World Series of Poker this year. And I would bet that Chris Ferguson makes a couple of final tables. We'll be back in 3 minutes, you guys.
Baseball affiliate.
Okay, guys, we're back.
Yeah, I'm sorry that some of you guys had a bad experience, and it sucks that fucking poker has all these failures of business, failure upon failures of businesses dying. Yeah. But I don't know what to do, guys. I mean, it's like, the laws are against us. I mean, the government's against poker. Religious people are against gambling and poker. There's like so many things against us.
Yeah, and you know what? No tilt here saying screw them. They don't give two shits about anybody but their own bank accounts. I don't blame them, but they're not losing any sleep. I think that you're wrong. I don't think that.
No, we don't really know, Dutch. I don't think.
I've played with I've played with Chris since.
You have?
I have. I crippled him last year in the 5K 6
Did you take
max.
a hot shower and sanitize yourself?
And
really
I don't think that he is, the cold-hearted robot that I think a lot of people think. I think it gets to him. I think that, the criticism
he seems like a very charismatic
really
person.
upsets him.
He's a very charismatic person, and I feel like he liked
and going from one of poker's heroes to one of poker's villains and pariahs is a big change. I think that he definitely feels pain. I do think that he's had a lot of sleepless nights, and I know that a lot of other Red pros have. Jennifer Harmon, for example.
You see a death threat?
She was getting death threats, and she was having huge anxieties, and plus all the Red pros who lost this just continuous source of income. I mean,
that's why Fishman doesn't have. That's why Fishman's like gone. Out of the scene.
Yeah.
The names of poker people, they were getting paid by these. And you know what? But at the same time, about reputation, and I'm going to throw a little shade their way, for years, I've been with Dutch for years, and they always avoided Dutch because of his reputation. And I feel like, now they know how Dutch feels, but like 10 times is worse.
Yeah.
Because they never gave Dutch an opportunity, and Dutch has been always a nice person. And they've always been nice to him in his face, but they've always like kind of shied away from even like acknowledging his existence,
Let's see if we can get through here with.
And I feel like now they know that how Dutch felt for like years, so, and still continues to feel on some occasions. Sometimes, especially when I get the better of him, I like to remind him all the time about his downfalls.
That's right. Let's talk about your failures, Dutch.
Yes, Dutch.
Let's talk about the big failures of your life.
But, I think time will heal all wounds. Maybe?
No, time does not heal all wounds.
I don't know. And Doyle Bronson, he got lucky to not get caught up in that shit.
Yeah, he did.
Instead, he opened his own room that was just small enough not to get noticed.
Yep.
And then he got out when he saw the getting was no longer good.
That's modern day's America's Card Room.
Is that right?
Yeah.
But he's not involved in it, right? Well,
How
we don't know. He still could be involved in it.
I don't know.
Oh, that's funny. So that's what happened to Joel's room.
I'm pretty sure that Doyle's room eventually became America's Card Room.
Is that right?
I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong about this, but that's my understanding.
Dutch, you can do a video blog on the history of poker failures.
Yeah.
Poker failures. Poker fails.
So maybe they were just acquired by America's Card Room, but I don't remember America's Card Room actually being that big of a room when they acquired them. I think so. It's probably more of like a merging. I don't know the details. I don't think it was just like a straight rebranding.
Yeah, and remember when Black Friday went down? Like the Win was advertising Poker Stars in or Full Tilt in a big banner. I wish I had pictures of that.
Sure, it wasn't. It was Stars. Win had a deal with Stars.
It was one of them. It was one of them. They had a big deal, and people suspect that because there was some. Anyways, I don't want to assume. I don't really know the history of it, but. It's just interesting how it all played out. It just sucks.
I'm trying to remember what the name of the room was before Doyle's room that Doyle was involved with. Ugh. King 10 off. Let's go ahead and take a shot here. And we've got Impervious, who is such a spewer. Such a spewer. Like, so much so that I'm not convinced that my king high is not good here. Let's go ahead and take a flop. We'll be in position. We'll be down to 10 bigs if we miss this. Make a call. And dodging well.
Wow, Dutch. Wow, that is pretty lucky there. So you did have something.
And a Hollywood guy, maybe I am wrong. Maybe I am wrong about Chris and what they knew.
They don't know. We don't know him personally. Like I said, they snubbed Dutch.
Yeah,
so
pretty much.
I mean, Dutch is whatever.
I don't know. I don't know. And I will tell you this, too. There's enough legitimate people to come to bat for. Ooh, look at this. Z-Man making the shove. I think that we just need to make the call here with our ace-king. I don't love it, but Z-Man knows we open pretty light. He's also looking at 6,000, which is 20% of his stack here. And sometimes we luck out and he's got ace-queen. He's got queens, we just have to hit.
Stick.
Running pretty good. Running pretty pure there. Z-Man's a local grinder I run into a lot around town. Always has an awesome attitude. I always hate getting into those big confrontations with him like that. But all's fair in love and poker. I don't really know, you guys. I don't know, which...
We don't know where their mental state and intention was, but, I mean, I don't think they would want to, rip people off.
I just feel like the cash cow was too big for them to ever intentionally fuck it up. And when and don't get me wrong, I was hurt. I was hurt from Full Tilt. I was an affiliate. I had invested a lot of my money into building up an affiliate program that was just starting to come back, into that was my retirement fund. That was going to be the way that I didn't have to work anymore. And when it just collapsed, it was devastating to me. Devastating to me. I had to move out of a house into a one-bedroom apartment. It was a devastation that I can't really describe. When I look at that compared to Epic,
to come back. I mean, we were in real denial about it. Like it would be up and running in a week or whatever. I
was definitely hoping. And the way that PokerStars just came in and white knighted, it still just completely blows my mind that they were able to just somehow survive Black Friday bigger and better than they were before. All of a sudden they absorbed one of their biggest competitors. They were able to take all of the affiliate tagged players from Full Tilt, roll it into PokerStars, and not pay for them.
Yeah.
It was really pretty amazing. I don't quite understand how the government just allowed that to happen. You know, it's like it's kind of like, you know, two drug dealers getting arrested, and you know, all of them having these customers that they, you know, that had paid for drugs that they didn't get, and one of the drug dealers says, well, hey, if you drop the charges, we will make, you know, we'll give all of the, you know, this drug dealer's customers their money back. And the government's like, yeah, that sounds good.
It's more like, we're going to turn in these guys who buy the drugs. It's more.
I don't know. I can't believe that like PokerStars was able to just be like, no problem. It still just like blows my mind. Nice hand there, Z-Man. It's crazy. You get it in, get it with the queens versus the ace king and lose. Get it in as bad as you can with the queen six versus the queens and win. Still in there with 3 bigs. I'm trying to remember what the name of the name of the site was back before Doyle's Room. It was like right around when Planet Poker and Delta Poker were out, and it was something like something. It was like something club. I mean, let me remember. But it ended up going down at the same time as Stars, or not Stars, at the same time as Poker Spot for the same reason, where they had processors steal their money, and they couldn't match deposits.
Well, it's because it's a business like bootlegging. I mean, it's like a business that's illegal. That's why it's like a really fucked up situation for poker. You know, I mean, you have all these back in the days of prohibition. You know, people making alcohol, you know, and getting arrested and killed for it.
But you know what was really interesting is so Doyle, you know, when that site went down, the first site went down. He personally paid everybody back, which was pretty impressive. And you know, if he hadn't done that, he wouldn't have been able to launch Doyle's Room. The first one is not on his Wikipedia, by the way. It's like that one didn't make the Wikipedia. I'm trying to remember. It was using the same software that it was using the same software as Planet Poker and Delta Poker.
Hi, Ghost of Bam. Goes the weasel. Anyways, we just want positive things for poker. Hopefully all the laws change for the better, Dutch. Hopefully you invent the next poker boom, Dutch, by having peer-to-peer poker play. Where everybody's computer operates the card room. I mean, is that possible? Where we have, you know how they have like miners mining Bitcoin. Oh, hold on, I gotta get some water. Oh, I'm gonna cough.
You okay?
No. I think the government's trying to kill me. But I was saying, is there a way to invent a way where you have peer-to-peer card rooms?
Yes.
Where, like,
yes, in fact, there is.
You know how they have Bitcoin miners that, you know how they have like programs that can like fuck up your computer by having your computer mine Bitcoin? Mm-hmm. Can you do the same thing with poker rooms? Like have the poker rooms processing power go through other people's computers? I mean, is that how you would do it?
Well, there's some things going on right now trying to build a poker application on the blockchain, on the Ethereum blockchain,
where there was no operator or anything.
But yeah, like that project still has a middleman, still has an operator. The problem with trying to build a peer-to-peer Rake, rakeless poker environment.
Well, how
is that
awesome would that be? Where it was like a game.
It would be amazing. It would be the future.
It would be the same theory of like how you can hop on the internet and go on Google. Yeah. And everybody has it, right? Well, am I getting that right? Or would they go to a website?
No, they wouldn't go to, like, there wouldn't be like, there might be like some .org site that would be like a nonprofit foundation that was kind of setting
people would
it
donate.
up.
I think
Handling the GitHub repo and basically where you would go to actually download the client. And a lot of other third-party clients would come out that would use the infrastructure of like a peer-to-peer system like that. The big problem is if you don't have a middleman that's acting as operator and collecting some fee, then who's actually paying for the development of that peer-to-peer system? And I'm not saying that it couldn't be done, because I think it could.
It and then can you just shelter it in some kind of corporation LLC or whatever?
Well, ideally, what would happen is you wouldn't have to shelter anything because there wouldn't be anything to shelter. If it's truly a decentralized peer-to-peer poker network that's rake free.
There is though because in that kind of situation, you would want probably. I mean, if people were supporting it, they would probably donate to it, like they do Wikipedia, for example. For the operations and servers. And things like that.
I think something like that could eventually evolve, especially using some of the blockchain technologies that are coming around with DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations, where it's not really centrally managed. I could see something like that coming around and really changing the face of poker. I think that might be the future of online poker, is a decentralized peer-to-peer poker environment with no middleman and no rake.
And there'd just be the AI that's controlling it? Is that what you're
there wouldn't
saying,
actually be AI. It would be player nodes that were actually controlling it and handling the logic.
So it'd be dealer.
It would be very much like BitTorrent. When you look at BitTorrent and how, in the early days of Napster, how everybody was, pirating. And now it's kind of moved to this this thing where you've got these BitTorrent trackers and these sites which actually track, BitTorrents, but the sites themselves aren't actually transferring files. The tracking sites like Pirate Bay aren't actually storing any pirate files or
they don't store it?
No,
it's just on other people's computers.
It's all on the actual nodes of this peer-to-peer BitTorrent network.
Oh, is that how it works? I thought it was some crazy cloud
works.
What's his name has?
Like Kim.com.
Kim.com, doesn't he have a cloud service where there's ridiculous amount of
there are a lot of pirate sites that actually host the content, like Mega.
Yeah.
For example.
Mega Upload.
And a lot of it on TV too, where they'll actually host the files or host the streams. But the way that BitTorrent works is that the nodes themselves and the peers themselves are the ones hosting the files and are the ones involved in the logic of transferring the files to each other. So I think that the future of online poker would, ideally from a player's point of view, look something like that, where the online poker environment is a peer-to-peer decentralized environment where the player knows themselves are handling the logic, and where there is no rake, where it is a completely even-sum game. And we might even be able to get into a point where people, where people would run tournaments on this network that could actually have money added into the prize pool from sponsorship money. Anyway, that's the dream. I would love to see that happen, and it's definitely something that I would probably actually devote some resources to if I ever got to the point where win the main event and have a few million to play with, because I think something like that would just be incredible for the poker economy and for every poker player. I mean, imagine if we could go back to the days where and it would also be somewhat regulation proof, because there wouldn't.
I have to interrupt you because there's a 2-year sub from Vice Chick. We have
No
to give
kidding.
We have to give a shout out. We totally missed it.
Vice Chick, you're the best.
Apologies.
Vice Chick's here in Vegas now, right?
Yeah. She just won. She just won. Not this tournament. I think the last tournament. The
2K last night.
From last week or this week.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to you, girl. Sorry, I apologize. We were
Look at Z-Man.
We were getting too into trying to change the world of poker. We're trying to make poker a better place. I don't know much about programming, man, but I kind of get the.
Look at Z-Man going from 40 to now he's just right back in there with 15 bigs. I'm going to make the fold here with pocket twos. D's Nuts Poker says someone would have to catch cheaters also, or AI software.
Yeah,
I imagine that D's Nuts Poker, how something like that would work.
Would it be anonymous?
I think how something like that would work is that you would install plugins into your client where you could actually only play against players or only allow players in a table that you were hosting with other peers at certain reputation thresholds, and also have
okay.
So
it would be like a
you could actually
a self-governing kind of like app or
at its base it wouldn't have any sort of governance and it wouldn't have any sort of
but isn't that
fraud tools.
But when you give them that,
but there would be would be plugins that you could add into into third-party clients that would that could have like reputation-based filters and reputation-based blocks and kind of collusion detection scripts and things like that. So you could probably set it up so that like you could actually you could actually filter the pool to only be playing against players who had some sort of verification, whether it be a Facebook account with X amount of friends or a Twitter account with X amount of followers that's been aged a certain amount of time. There's going to be ways to verify. Even pseudonymously.
But you can still
How do you say anonymous but pseudo-anonymous? Pseudonymously. Is that how you say it? Is that a word?
Yeah, pseudo, dude. Like
pseudo-anonymously.
Maybe like pseudo or no, I don't know the word because I just fucked it up. But no, but when you do that, though, Dutch, with the getting onto the internet with Facebook and whatnot, can't you just get on the internet and just put your AI to control it through your computer program?
What do you mean?
Like you're saying, there's a verification, like how to cheat the system with AI.
Yeah,
like
what I'm saying is a big peer-to-peer system like that.
You can still use your bot after you after you verify with.
It's going a big peer-to-peer system like that is going to have the same type of issues that any online card room would have. But I think that I don't think that the way to
become. But it's okay. You're saying it's all right because you're going to have no rake. You're going to be able to play the games, and
I think that all of the same problems that online poker has right now could still be solved in a peer-to-peer decentralized environment by virtue of community-built tools. Anyway,
I feel bad now that we missed Vice Chicks 2 years.
We didn't miss. We said.
I know. We should have got it at the time though.
Well, why I don't is I don't have my alert up. I don't have my alert up.
Fired, Dutch. Now you have to take this. Down.
In January, Planet Poker ceased operations for free play.
What?
So now there's nothing. There's no online poker on Planet Poker anymore.
No.
Yeah.
When did that happen?
January this year, they finally shut the door on everything.
No, I didn't.
Because they were still going
Paradise
on a subscription-based free poker model.
Planet or Paradise?
Planet.
I never heard of Planet. Sorry, dude.
Planet was the first one.
Yeah, I didn't hear.
Planet was the very first online poker room.
What about Paradise? Is fine still, right?
So EdM727 saying, but how would the money move? It would have to move on a using the blockchain. It would have to move using the blockchain.
Like a Bitcoin type technology.
Probably not Bitcoin. You'd probably have to move it on like an Ethereum type.
Why Ethereum? Because they're putting in packets with.
Because with Ethereum you can have smart contracts. So, in this situation, if I were to make a bet here and MJ Perry were to make the call, then the software itself would take, a little bit of his Ethereum and my Ethereum and put it into a smart contract where all the players would report how the hand resolved, and whoever won that hand would get the money out.
So you would do it. So you would play just cash. I don't know. I mean.
Well, it could work with tournaments too. It could work with tournaments too, where all the nodes are basically reporting on how the tournament payouts went, and the distribution of payout of money is being released based on that results tracker. And then Ghost of M talking about, doesn't Bitcoin already work for that? Why do we need another one? I mean, the point. I think you're missing the point, Ghost of M. I'm talking about the actual operations. I'm saying, poker needs to get to a point where there is no middleman and no operator, where we can finally break free of this centralized operator just raking the hell out of every game as quickly as they can. And I think that the only way to really do that is to get some sort of online poker that's peer-to-peer, decentralized, and that's also, I think, probably the best way to avoid. That would be regulation proof as well. You're really at a point there where there's no operator and there's no one to actually shut down. There's no target for the government to come in and say, okay, we're going to shut this down.
It would be seated in so many spots. Is that what you're saying?
And there's no operator that's actually raking the games. And
make it illegal, and just if you have it on your computer, maybe.
And there's going to be a lot of, there's going to be a lot of places where playing in a system like that will still be illegal. But a lot of places will allow you to play as a player without fear of being, arrested for a felony. I mean, a lot of places. And especially if what you're conducted in is considered social gaming, where there's not a rake being taken out of, a lot of times it actually passes legal muster. But there will probably be some, community-based tools that would have to be built around some system that would filter out based on location. There's that's what I think the future of poker, could and should look like when it comes to online poker. I think I think poker has to come away from the negative sum economy that it is right now into at least an even sum economy, and preferably a positive sum economy where money is being added into prize pools.
Yeah, how do we make it so poker winnings don't get taxed by the government?
Move to London.
No, but how do we change it here? I mean, is there any way that would ever happen?
Yeah, I mean, it could happen.
Maybe we could take the IRS down somehow, guys.
I mean, it's happened in other countries. You'd have to lobby for tax reform, where gambling winnings wasn't.
How do we lobby
taxed.
For that shit?
Or maybe gambling winnings was taxed at the same rate as capital gains.
No,
so
let's
if
just do no fucking taxes. What the hell?
That sounds better.
Let's go all the way. What the hell?
I mean, basically, you're just talking about lobbying for tax reform.
I like Blue Dog's 53 question, because he sounds like he knows what he's saying, or knows what he's talking about. I don't know. It's a very complex problem, that's for sure.
So Blue Dog's 53 saying it would still need a centralized GUI and random card generator. So this is how it would work, Blues Dog. It wouldn't need a centralized GUI. There would be a lot of third-party GUIs. The client is basically what he's talking about here. Now what do we do? MJ Perry making a re-raise here. We've got Ace King of Hearts, the suited Ace King, and
shove here, I suppose.
We certainly can. We certainly can. We got 30.
Is that the move you're supposed to do? Shove there? I think that's what I would do.
It's never wrong to shove here.
But I'm not a professional.
We can make a call here. I think that the only wrong move is to fold. The problem is if we make a call, then MJ Perry's just going to shove on any flop, and we're only going to get to see 3 cards. Even then, I mean, 30% of the time we're going to hit an ace or a king, and it's probably going to be good.
And you still have cards if he calls. I mean, if he wins.
Yeah, we do. So let's make the call here.
What's Ethereum at, anyways?
It's hovering around 50.
Okay. Fuck. Oh, you just called, huh?
Yeah, I decided not to shove. Look, there's no.
You think he's just? I think if you shove there, I think he folds.
No.
I think so.
No, he put in half his stack.
Doesn't mean
it'd be a disaster for him to fold. So Blues Dog 53, you wouldn't actually need any sort of centralized GUI or centralized random card generator. You could have third-party clients that could connect to the the peer-to-peer network, just like you have third-party BitTorrent clients. And as far as a random card generator, that would all be done by the players themselves. There's a problem in cryptography called mental poker. And the idea is, let's say that you and I want to have a fair poker game where I'm shuffling the cards and then you're shuffling the cards. How do we do that together without any sort of third party? And this has been a really tough cryptographic problem since the 70s when it was first thought of, but it's recently been solved. And there's a guy who is actually really big into Ethereum right now. He's one of the developers on that, who has solved that mental poker problem. He's actually applied for a patent for it. I don't know if he's going to get patent protection for it, but the point is, all of the technology, all of the cryptographic theory issues with having with having two players at a table being, or multiple people at a table being able to fairly, without any sort of central randomization element, without any sort of central shuffler, has actually been solved. And if you want more information about how that works, just Google mental poker, and there's plenty of stuff out there. But that's a solved issue at this point. Yeah, let me see what the guy's name is. Mental poker implementation patent. Let's see if I can't find that guy who ended up. Is this Sergio Lerner? This is the guy. You want to see the guy who solved the mental poker problem? Pretty much one of the.
I didn't even know there was a problem.
Yeah, I didn't even know there was a problem. This is Sergio Lerner. Let me go ahead and screen capture this.
Your stream is just too deep, Dutch. This is like a lot of catching up. This is like a lot of.
This is pretty much the guy who, if we can ever get to the point where we're doing a peer-to-peer decentralized poker network, he's the one whose work we would build it on.
How old is he? Is he?
He's got a little gray in his beard, but he looks like he's about 34.
Okay, he's still young. I was worried that we might lose our only hope.
No, he's pretty young. I mean, he's
the only hope to help us.
He's a really big name in cryptography circles.
I mean, it could, guys. I mean.
And it's a sad state of the world when you look at a guy like Sergio Lerner, and he's got 4,700 followers, and then you look at any mid-tier poker player having more. I wonder, like, who has more followers? Sergio Lerner or name a pro? Justin Schwartz, let's say.
Why is it sad, Dutch? I mean, it's how society is. They don't really reward intellect.
It's sad because this guy is supposed to be a superstar.
That's what I mean. It's just like the culture. We just celebrate, like,
pretty much
the Kardashians.
What are we looking at here? 15 places
like
paid. Do we feel like yeah, let's go ahead and make the call here with our 8-3 suited. You like a check raise?
He might be watching you right now.
He might.
We will figure out the poker problem. We will fix it. We will fix the poker, Dutch.
It's the dream.
So that's like Dutch's dream project that he's going to learn. You do enjoy reading about cryptocurrency and the whole blockchain technology.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I mean, it could happen, guys. Look at the internet. The internet wasn't, when I was a young child or when I was a young girl, we didn't even have the internet. That was just crazy. It's crazy to know that the modems would go beep and connect into this. It opened the world up for me. It was insane. It's like so crazy to think about, just the World Wide Web. So it's possible, guys. Now, as far as the taxes are concerned, I don't know what we're going to do that. Maybe we'll have to move, Dutch. Might have to move.
Anyway, Big Lebowski talking about that's why Ethereum is powerful, and I completely agree with you, Big Lebowski. That is why Ethereum is so powerful, because it has an internal scripting, Turing complete language within the blockchain that allows you to actually do things on the blockchain. Like allow people to bet each other at a poker table, and return the money to whoever wins a hand.
Yeah, and be fair and
Yeah.
honest, not like rip people off. So it wouldn't need a regulator.
That's right.
The regulation would be built into the block or into the contract.
That's the idea. Yeah.
So the contract would be so logical that it wouldn't be. It would be honest because it was the numbers are honest.
Yeah.
It doesn't have.
And
moral,
you would still have to have
the temptation to steal.
You would still have to have some way to resolve the the result, but that could be done on like if it was a peer-to-peer thing. How it would basically work is in this situation. Okay, let's say that we were playing in a cash game. Basically, what would happen is Power KC and Domino and Dutch are all going to be putting in money into this smart contract, and then everybody would, at the table, Z-Man, MJ Perry, the Razor, Dutch, Power KC, Impervious, and Domino would all basically say, okay, well, Dutch won the hand, or Domino won the hand, and then it would be, put back out to everybody.
But what's also kind of cool to think about, guys, is that one...
Gosh, I don't know what to do here. I'm kind of thinking maybe we just shove.
Depends on what the contract says. What does the contract say?
Fuck. Yeah, we're in real bad shape now.
Oh, damn.
Power KC actually waking up with the queens and just calling. Pretty good trap there, buddy. Pretty good trap. So we're out in 26th. Going to be missing the money in that one.
Bum.
And that's going to be our tournament, and that is going to be our stream.
Yeah, that's all right.
Brutalized today, but we'll be back tomorrow for some more shots at this thing. The Spring Poker Championship, I guess, is going on. So tomorrow there's going to be, I guess, a 5K turbo rebuy and add-on that we'll play. And then we'll probably also jump into the 3K and the 2K.
That was very unlucky, Dutch. Sorry about that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like, maybe we can get away from it, but, like, I don't think so. We've got the overpair, and we're thinking, okay, well, the first guy who's shoving probably just has a 10. If he doesn't have a spade, I mean, we're in such great shape against just, like, what he ended up having, Queen 10. The only real person we're worried about is the guy behind us who had just made the flat call on the button. And we could totally see him making shoves over us if we make the call with overcards and a random spade. We can't play in that situation like we're worried about one of the only three hands that really just crush us. Plus there were other hands besides just queens, kings, and aces that crush us. Obviously, he could have flopped the flush and we're drawing dead. He could have flopped a set and we're drawn to two outs. But most of the time, I feel like an overpair is going to be good there, and I'll just go ahead and take the shot against the short stack who's shoving, hoping that he has something like ace 10 and 5 outs. Anyway, or hell, maybe jack 10 and 2 outs. Sucks that didn't happen. You guys are awesome. Really appreciate all of you being here. Make sure to follow on Twitter.
Now we're going to make a new card room, Dutch, you and me. We're going to think about Ethereum and think about how it can connect.
Yeah.
No, not really. No, but
it's a pipe dream.
But yeah, I mean,
that's what we'll call it, pipe dream poker.
I mean, this is like that back to what I was saying before you busted out. Like, imagine a world where robots did everything and all you had to do was play poker. How fucking awesome would that be?
It'd be awesome.
To make money.
It would be
so
awesome.
You could live.
It would be awesome, except for the losers.
Except for all the losers, yeah, exactly.
Thanks again, guys, for joining us. Are you going
to put your schedule up?
Yeah, I'll put the schedule up, and once again, guys, I am going to be selling some action in a few tournaments during this summer. So if you want to get in on that action, subs are going to have the first bite at that. So subscribe to the stream for the $4.99, and you'll get the first email blast and opportunity to go ahead and put some cash into my WSOP this summer. Otherwise, I'll be advertising it on Twitter at Dutch Boyd. So make sure to follow at Dutch Boyd and follow at First as well. For all of Exmoa's wisdom.
Yes, all my strange
and
things. And
your Twitter is actually a lot more fun to cycle through than mine. But guys, I wish we could have made that tournament happen.
It doesn't matter.
Now
Tomorrow's
I'm thinking
a new day. I'm gonna play.
Maybe I should have just made the shove with the Ace King of Hearts.
You should have probably. I told you to shove there.
Probably. I think I would have felt better about going out that way against queens than.
Do you really?
Probably, yeah. I
mean,
feel kind of bad about the way that we just went out.
I feel like it's okay. I mean,
Whatever.
shit. It's like Power KC
overpair.
was kind of hidden there. That was good.
He was. I mean, he
You kind of didn't. He put him on your radar.
He was pretty sneaky there with the call and the button. Anyway, you guys, thanks so much for joining us, and you all have a really great day.
Till the next time. Till tomorrow. Bye.